They say if you smile and smile again, you could be making the world a much beautiful place to be. That's the word of a Vietnamese professor and theologian that I'm using to say good morning to you this morning. Thank you for choosing to wake up with the CRTV, and thank you for watching us this early in the day. We're hoping that it will be an awesome 3-hour experience that we are starting today. Let's start though by updating you on what's making news in and around the country. I just want to let you know that today on the program, much later, like the last hour of the program, as usual, we'll be having a lot of talents from the country, confirmed talents and budding talents in almost everything that you want to think of. But now, though, what's news? What is in the news? I'll meet you behind that.
La terre ne trompe pas. Les femmes rurales d'Akok-Bogmelinga dans l'arrondissement de Mvenge l'ont compris. Elles en ont fait leur créneau pour promouvoir le développement de leur localité.
La ville de Mvenge et ses environs sont renommées comme première productrice des concombres. Et puis quand c'est la période des concombres, il faut en cultiver pour avoir beaucoup de revenus, nourrir la famille, nourrir les étrangers, faire l'autoconsommation.
L'élevage des porcs et des chèvres, la culture du concombre, du piment, de la tomate et bien d'autres vivres rythment leur quotidien. Pour dynamiser leur production, elles se sont réunies autour d'une association dénommée Eboula Kuma, multiplicateur de richesses. Cependant, ces valeureuses femmes se heurtent à des difficultés inhérentes à l'état des routes et aux conditions de travail précaires.
Nous voulons que l'État nous donne les routes, qu'il nous donne même les voitures pour transporter ces vivres, à les vendre en ville.
Heureusement, elles trouvent leur force et leur consolation dans le chant collectif. La célébration de la journée de la femme, ce 8 mars, sera l'occasion pour ces femmes de débattre sur les problèmes qui minent leur village, mais aussi de montrer ce dont elles sont capables.
Pour l'association Jeunesse consciente des grandes réalisations du président Paul Biya, effectuer le bon choix lors des prochaines élections nécessite au préalable l'inscription sur les listes électorales. Et pour que cela se fasse avec succès, un plan stratégique a été élaboré.
On pourra expliquer aux jeunes l'importance de s'inscrire sur une liste électorale pour l'avancée de la démocratie et la paix au Cameroun.
Il s'agit pour les différents participants de démontrer à leurs compatriotes les réalisations du chef de l'État dans l'optique de barrer la voie aux forces tapées dans l'ombre qui ternissent l'image du président de la République.
C'est notre pays, nous tous. Il faut d'abord la paix, la stabilité.
Et parmi ces réalisations figurent en bonne place le bitumage de la route Yaoundé-Ngaoundéré, la construction du 2e pont sur le Vouri et les stades, pour ne citer que cela. Le problème de l'emploi étant la principale préoccupation des jeunes, il a été recommandé de s'investir dans le secteur privé.
La nouvelle s'est répandue comme une onde de choc au quartier Bokongo. Le corps du commissaire de police Essone Nongene Samson a été retrouvé sans vie dans son domicile. Selon la bailleresse du défunt, Angaya Justine, c'est le mercredi 21 février dernier que le commissaire Essone avait été aperçu au marché de Likokomimbia pour la toute dernière fois. Elle ajoute que depuis ce lundi, le téléphone du commissaire sonne sans arrêt dans son domicile fermé à clé. Inquiète de ce silence inhabituel, Madame Angaya Justine et son fils décident de guetter à travers les persiennes pour s'enquérir de la situation. La découverte est macabre. Le corps inerte du commissaire gît sur le canapé. Aussitôt informés, les autorités administratives, judiciaires et médicales descendent sur les lieux. Le premier constat laisse croire qu'il s'agit d'une mort naturelle, selon le procureur de la République. La dépouille a été transportée à la morgue de l'hôpital régional. Le regretté commissaire Essone Nongene Samson, né le 27 décembre 1958, était en service au commissariat de sécurité publique d'Akwa, à Bakassi.
Depuis 2012, le département du Maoraï fait face à de nombreux incidents et le dernier est celui en date du 8 février dernier où 6 de nos vaillants soldats ont été tués dans le parc de Boubandida par des braconniers lourdement armés. Une situation qui a amené le préfet du département à prendre des mesures appropriées pour non seulement préserver cet important espace faunique, mais aussi préserver la paix et faire régner la sécurité au sein de toute son unité administrative. C'est dans ce sens l'intérêt de cette première édition des journées communautaires de sécurité lancée à Madinring, car le combat contre les fauteurs de troubles ne saurait être la seule affaire des autorités administratives ou des forces de maintien de l'ordre. Au cours de cette rencontre, Etienne Balasamba a échangé avec ses administrés à qui il a fait des recommandations. Les communautés qui s'approprient ainsi la bataille contre l'insécurité savent que leur implication est d'un intérêt certain, une collaboration armée-population qui devra porter des fruits.
In the locality of Akok Mvok Belinga in Mvanga subdivision, the rains have been welcomed with much excitement by rural women who depend on agriculture for their livelihood. This is how they sing and dance before taking off to their Egusi farmland each time the association plans to work.
Mvanga is ranked as the first production base of Egusi in this part of the region. When it is the farming season, we work in groups so as to produce more. This way, we can take off our families and also contribute to food self-sufficiency.
The Ebul Akuma women, who are 30 in number, have a huge ambition this season to produce over 70 bags of the cucurbitaceous seeds.
Collectively, we have 2 farms, one in a swampy area and this one in the forest. We visit each of the farms
et puis toutes les femmes se
once a week.
réunissent tous les samedis pour travailler dans les champs d'une femme.
Their vision of making close to 500,000 CFA francs this year from their farms could be thwarted by a number of challenges.
We produce a lot, but to go and sell is not easy. No vehicles to transport our produce.
The Egusi will be harvested next September, and the women say it will help them finance the education of their children.
The upcoming polls must be preceded by the massive enrollment of Cameroonians on electoral registers. This explains why, after the recent regional campaign led by the Vice President of the Electoral Board to encourage prompt and extensive voters' registration, many other platforms have been organized. It is in this light that members of the association known in French as Jeunesse Consciente des Grandes Réalisations du Président Paul Biya initiated a forum to induce a global consciousness of current political and socio-economic stakes. According to the leader of this movement, Abdoulaye Abbasi, expecting change in the country all starts with accomplishing civic responsibilities, one of which is getting registered on electoral rolls.
Our objective consists to mobilize the youths to ready the electoralists.
The forum also gave room for organizers to throw light on some sustainable projects executed under President Biya's regime, which must be acknowledged. They emphasized, amongst other things, on the creation of the Constitutional Council, the Yaoundé-Douala motorway, hydroelectric projects, the fight against corruption, and large-scale investments.
None of the neighbors and landlady of Commissioner Enongene Samson had seen him since Wednesday, February 21st, when his closest neighbor complained of an unbearable odor in his house. The worst was feared.
When I returned from the market this Monday, one of my children told me that his phone had been ringing for long and no one answered the call. I told him that maybe it was the other neighbor. This Tuesday morning, my son said the phone continued ringing in his house all night. I then told my son that we should try to see what is happening, thinking that our tenant might be ill with no one to help him out. My son forced the window to have a clearer view of the living room. I told my son to call him. He did so at a loud voice. When we got no response, I shouted, finally believing that he had died.
Elements of the forces of law and order, accompanied by some staff of the Buea Council, got to the house after getting news of his unresponsiveness to the calls of the landlady. His death was confirmed after the door was forced open. To go by a medical doctor who briefly examined the corpse, the commissioner died 48 hours before his door was forced open. An autopsy would reveal the exact cause of the 59-year-old commissioner's death.
The government of Cameroon has set its sight on expanding its road network to 17%, up from the current 10% by the end of the decade. Meeting this objective would necessitate, among other aspects, upgrading the intellectual capacities of those directly concerned.
Procedures were not well mastered by the key actors. Each person worked based on his personal plan of action, individualism, which plays negatively on the progress.
The Road Fund, a government-run structure charged with protecting, maintaining and expanding the nation's road assets, through this capacity-building forum, laid bare its technical guide it believes would render each stakeholder, including authorizing officers, contracting authorities, building and construction companies, more apt in its domain of competence.
The guide is applied to speed up road construction. Is very important for us to assure the different intervenants at this level to be accessible, commitment.
Through the management at the level of devolved services approach, the new modus operandi of the Ministry of Public Works, closer and more rigorous follow-up through a more competent and results-oriented method, would be applied to pave the way for the maintenance and construction of roads of quality, both in the urban and rural setting, to accelerate development in the 3 northern regions.
Welcome back on Hello Cameroon. Now that you're updated on what's making news in and around the country, we are hoping to bring you a little bit of brightness, a little bit of reasons for you to smile some more. Because as I did say at the start of the program, the more you smile, the more the world becomes a more beautiful place. Try to smile. They also say it extends your life and relaxes your muscles. I mean, they say all the good things about smiles and all the bad things about the opposite. Keep the frown away. Now, let's step down in music. We're going down memory lane, and this is a star of the 80s and part of the 90s. He's called Jeannot Luc, And this song is, we caught a clip of what used to be on Tropicana. Tropicana is also one of those nostalgic moments CRTV had between the 80s and the 90s. If you remember Tropicana, you might just want to sit and, you know, step back with us. If you don't, you might just want to sit and discover what music was like between the 80s and the 90s. It was awesome. You could as well just recognize your grandpa or your grandma, or maybe your papa and your mama dancing in those days. It's retro clip with Jano Luke. Stay with us. Yes, how do you listen to such music and you don't move? I mean, it touches your heart and it goes way deeper. Jano Luke, I hope you did recognize some people in that video. That is also the issue today. Now, when there is a fight between Oga and madam, who can solve the problem? You know, they usually say between the tree and its bark, you don't get in between. So who can, when there is fire on the mountain, who can get between the tree and its bark? That's our talking point on Hello Cameroon today. If you're an early bird and this speaks to you, please step out, send us a text message. You could actually inspire somebody this morning. Our phone number, in case you are new to our game, is 663039233. I want to tell you at this very early hour of the program that we will be showing you the picture of a young boy who went missing in Yaoundé. If you do recognize this young boy whose picture is up right now, please contact the family. In the course of the program, we'll give you contact numbers for you to get to tell people if you have any information. But this is what we could get. His name is Chanji Blaise. He went missing on Friday, the 16th of February in Damas here in Yaoundé. He is a son of Sergeant Chief Chanji Ernest and Chanji Helen. If you recognize this boy, you've seen him anywhere, or you have any information that can help anybody, this is the phone number you should use to communicate. 678715 I know from experience that when we give phone numbers like this, there are a bunch of jokers who call. I know that from experience. Please, this is such a serious issue that we don't want you dialing that number except you know something about this boy. Before we wrap up the program at 9 o'clock, we'll come back on that message and that phone number. And we're only calling on anybody out there to be of goodwill and say something if you know where this boy is. Now, I have with me two persons who are coming from Shaping Destiny organization, which also runs an orphanage. Pastor Kai Prince Will, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming on Hello Cameroon.
Yeah, thank you, Pochi.
You're here with one of your collaborators. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you so much for both of you for coming. Tell me, just in a few words, though, how would you describe Shaping Destiny? What does it do? What does it not do?
Yes, Pochi. Shaping Destiny is a Christian non-profit making organization that runs free sponsorship programs for orphans, for abandoned children, for street children, and we are in Batibo, that's in the northwest region, and we've been there since 2006, and hundreds of children have passed through our programs, and so that's one of the reasons why we are on Hello Cameroon to talk to televiewers about Shaping Destiny.
Okay.
Yes, Pochi.
And is there anything anything people should look out for in this 2018? What are some of those things you want to achieve or major activities you'll be getting into?
Yes, Pochi. This year 2018, we launched 3 major projects, and these are the projects. Number 1, to raise child sponsors. We know, like I told you in the beginning of the when I was beginning to introduce Shaping Destiny, I said hundreds of children have benefited from our programs, and so we need televiewers to sponsor children. So we need more child sponsors. We need partners, individual partners. Then number 2, we need churches to partner with us, because it's a Christian non-profit, a Christian non-denominational program. And so like you see in James chapter 1 verse 27, the Bible says that pure religion and undefiled before God is to care for the fatherless, to care for the widows, and to do something for the hopeless. And so churches need to get involved. That's why we need churches to partner with us this 2018. Many more churches. The third there is to make disciples. That is why you have Evans, J. Evans. Mm-hmm. He is one of the children who, an orphan who grew in the program. He's benefited from the program, and today he is no longer a child. He's a child whose destiny has been shaped, and so he's a volunteer. He's volunteering. So we need to let televiewers to know that they can volunteer their services to to serve orphans, to bring hope to the children.
Let me ask this to Njay Evans. When I hear him talking about raising funds and partnershiping with people, it calls for a little talk about credibility, about trust, about saying that this is how we use our funds and our resources. Coming from inside, what will you say to convince people that this is a credible thing to keep investing in?
Actually, Pochi, it's really something I've been into it, and I've passed through it, and having a lot to say concerning trust and concerning the way the funds are being used to cater for the children. It's really something great. And actually, as a child who have been in the program within the few years, because I actually emerged the program in 2011 and dropping out in 2017. That is 7 years, 6 years into the program. I actually find that it's really a home of parents, and I was fine. I was being taken care of well, and just as the same as some other homes do for their children.
Pastor Kai just said your destiny has been shaped somehow, and I think that also means it's now up to you to chart the direction that you want to take. How do you feel, and what direction do you want to take?
Oh, I actually feel great, because for me, returning back there to be a volunteer, it actually means that what the organization has done for me, it's actually meaningful. Because right there now into the organization, the services I render there are from the things that I also achieved while I was in the organization. Like for example, while I was into Shaping Destiny, I learned music. I learned how to play the keyboard, and one
day we would like to listen to you and watch you here play music. But just a quick word before I come back to Pastor Kai to finish. When we talk about orphanage, we often talk sea funders, but very few times do we see orphans. If you had to speak on behalf of people, of the children in orphanages, what would you say?
I don't actually understand you. Please,
if you were to speak on behalf of the other children who are in orphanages, what would be the thing that you want to say for them? If this place was given to orphans, what would they say to the public? Would it be thank you? Would it be to ask for something? Would it be to I don't know. Let me not put words in your mouth.
Okay. Actually, on the behalf of orphans, I will actually say, let us chip in. Let us come into to see how we can help to take a hopeless life into a life of hope, to see how we can be able to transform someone from a zero to a hero.
Do you eat fruits?
Yeah.
I feel like giving you my basket. But if I give you my basket, I wouldn't know what to give. But don't worry. Thank you so much for coming on the program. He just said, you should chip in, help to bring a hopeless life into hope. I wouldn't have said it better, though. Thank you, Njay Evans, for coming on the program. Before you go, I definitely will give you a fruit, just a symbolic thing to say thank you for coming on Hello Cameroon. Pastor Kai, if you had any last word, what would you want to tell people about your work and what you need or what you desire?
Yes, to say thank you for Hello. We've had quite a number of things to say, but looking at the program in Hello, we can't say everything.
We only open a window.
And so we're calling on televiewers to make donation, to sponsor a child, give a donation to help a child. And contact us. We are Shaping Destiny. We are located in Batibo, and you like the pictures we loaded. We gave the producer. Those are children whose lives have been changed. Businesses. If you are a business owner, and say for example you are an entrepreneur, you can actually you have the power to change a life. You can make a donation. There are many poor people out there. Because you look at poverty alleviation has three stages.
Yes.
And Shaping Destiny is into that. The first stage there is relief. we did the first relief where you identify children, give him food, do something. Then the second stage you have rehabilitation, where we will not get,
Pastor Kai, we will not get a third one. This is the reason, because we want to encourage people to come to you and find out more about what you do. Here, as we say on the program, sometimes it's sadly though, but sometimes that's how it is. We just open a window and we encourage people to go through. We hope that we have raised some interest about what you do, because you're doing so good. Please have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Let me give you a banana.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's actually the most loved fruit. Let me give the choice. Evans, what would you like? This is red grape. It's actually very healthy. It is sweet. It's not sour like the white one. This is, what is your village?
Oh, I'm from Batibo.
Batibo. How do you call this in Batibo?
Fico.
Fico. Ah, right. And there is banana. Which one would you want?
Just the same as my...
Banana, right. The winning fruit. Here, there you go. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
Please keep doing what you do. Is electricity a problem where you work in Batibo? Does it go at times? Like
it does.
Okay. And how do you? What is your plan B for electricity? Bush lamp.
No. We have solar.
Okay.
It is almost everywhere there. And,
all right.
We go for an option.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's talk electricity supply in the southwest region. This is Edith Atoneche telling us about electricity issues in Buea.
Many small and medium-sized businesses and startups who depend on electricity supply for their operations continue to bear the brunt of power outages. Many of these businesses run by individuals suffer disruptions caused by power blackouts, leaving workers idle for long hours.
I can't do without electricity. Electricity is just all for me. After my tools, I go direct with electricity. So with the electricity, it helps me to do my welding. Whatever thing I do here, like you can see, all these materials here, we cut them and can only join by welding. When I don't have current here, I just stay like that. It disturbs me. There's no work. So, because I cannot go in for some millions to afford a heavy-duty standby generator. But there are small generators in the shop, but they cannot carry my machine. So I see no reason why I should go in for machines, for generators like that, when they will not be of help to me.
For 20 years, Richard has made significant financial progress, but regrets the wedge that frequent power cuts have placed on the growth and expansion of his business.
Well, actually, these power cuts actually affects my job a lot. Because it's very common for customers to say technicians are, they always tell lies, they always do this, they always do that. Because when there's power cut like that, as I earlier said, I cannot work without current. And sometimes even if the current comes back, it's too low. Sometimes when they cut it off like that, it's too low, you can still not cut my machine. And if you think in a situation where you have given the customer 2-3 days for a job, and then you have power cut for one or two, even 3 hours, sometimes it even goes off for a complete day. It actually disturbs me. Because it costs you not to meet up with your customers' demand, and sometimes even destroy some of my machines. Because when it comes back like that with force, mostly when they cut the light without informing us, when the current comes back, it blows off some of our machines. Like I was talking about the other machine I had, it was blown off by current, but I don't know. You go there, even talk to the people concerned, they will just look at it, they say, go and start from that place, go and start from here. So it actually distresses me.
In the absence of alternative energy sources, businesses completely shut down.
I cannot buy a generator because I took 3-phase current from the Sonia people, and generator cannot carry that 3-phase.
Power blackouts, which are sometimes brief, add up to huge economic losses incurred by owners of businesses.
Last week, I attended one convocation in the State Council for a problem like that. I did not meet up with the person's job because there was no light, so you have to go to the State Council. He was claiming that they call it breach of contract, so I failed.
Energy supply is indispensable to the survival and expansion of businesses, and so even brief outages come with disastrous consequences.
Thank you so much, Edith Atoniche, for giving us that report. Now let's talk a little bit about Women's Day, the International Day of the Woman, which is coming up on March 8th. In fact, just bear with us. We'll only eat and drink and wear and talk women issues until it's like March 9th, okay? So stay with us. But we're going to work very hard to make sure that in the process, we show only talented and very inspiring ideas so that you can pick up something, because they say the woman is the world. I've heard that a lot. It's not Pochi talking. Don't attack me. Our talking point, in case you are new, I've received some messages, but maybe you're still turning on your bed and allowing us to soothe you with our voices, is who comes between the tree and the bark? Between Oga and Madam, when there is a problem, when there is fire like this, boom, boom, boom. Who? Because they usually, I've heard, you know, they say nobody should step in between those two. But sometimes they need help. When that help is needed, who can give it? Is it the mother-in-law? When you say mother-in-law, you see people tremble. Is it the father-in-law? Is it who? I just asked a colleague this morning, and she said nobody. The couple should sort out their problems. That's our talking point on Hello Cameroon. Let us know what you're thinking, and in the process, teach someone something. Talking about Women's Day, the International Day of the Woman, I have with me Apollonie Ngobia. Good morning, Apollonie.
Good morning, Pochi.
Thank you so much for coming on Hello Cameroon. You're here with Ngwe Mokom Constance. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm happy to receive both of you who are coming from the Maghrabi International Eye Hospital is at Obak on your way in the Lekie. So tell me, Apollonie, what are some of the things you do at the Maghrabi International Eye Center? It's obvious that it sounds like an eye, a place to treat eyes, but step it down for us so we begin to have an idea what kind of women you are.
Okay. Le Maghrabi Eye Cameroon Eye Institute, en abrégé MICE, est la résultante c'est un hôpital de référence ophtalmologique. Donc, c'est une première en Afrique centrale ici. Donc, il n'y en a pas deux. Donc, nous sommes un peu les pionniers en la matière. Donc, nous faisons dans les soins oculaires uniquement et puis dans la formation aussi en soins oculaires. Donc, le Maghrabi, si vous voulez, c'est la résultante entre trois partenariats, entre trois entités. Le docteur...
You do eye care. I need to follow that up with a bit of, yes, you do different eye care.
Essentiellement dans les yeux, dans les soins oculaires.
Inside the eye, right, okay.
Donc, c'est la résultante de trois entités, le docteur Akef Maghrabi, et puis le ICO, l'International Council of Ophthalmology, et puis le promoteur d'une ONG camerounaise, le docteur professeur Daniel Etiale, afin que chaque vie compte. Donc Cameroun, parce que c'est localisé au Cameroun, évidemment, et que son promoteur est aussi camerounais. Okay. Donc nous faisons essentiellement dans le soin oculaire. Mais l'hôpital en ce moment a été inauguré le 29 mars 2017. Et donc nous faisons essentiellement dans la cataracte, mais aussi dans les autres pathologies oculaires, à savoir le glaucome, la chirurgie de la rétine, etc., etc.
Okay. Voilà. Thank you so much, Apollonie, for giving us an idea of what you do at the Maghrabi International Eye Center. Now, these ladies are here because we're going to be looking at their activities, the lineup for Women's Day. What are some of those things on your menu, Ngwe Mokom?
Okay. From this day of today, we are here with you. Then let's say on Saturday, we shall do a health march.
Okay.
We'll do health march from MEC, and then we go right up to, how do you call this place? Mount Phoebe.
Okay, from Carrefour MEC
to Mount Phoebe.
Okay.
And then on Monday, we shall have a screening program for old people.
Okay.
At CNPS, Treasury.
Okay.
Ngwaikele. And then on Tuesday, same place. On Wednesday, we shall chill out at the workplace. We do some work. While on Thursday, we shall do March Pass. Thursday is the deal day.
So
we shall be very much involved in March Pass.
On if somebody asks you, how are some of the things about the 8th of March that worry you and that you hope we could make better this year, what would you say?
Some of the things I don't like about this day is that we, women, exaggerate a lot on that day. Some of us dress without pants. We take up our gowns in the street. We drink and get drunk. we smoke, and much more. So I think that if we can talk to them, we talk to every woman, so that we can try to change. We stand our ground as wives, stand our ground as mothers, we can change things.
Okay. And what is your message to women, not only women in your workplace, but women generally, about how this day should look like?
I think that on that day we should pass on important information. We should help young ones to grow. We should teach young people the right things to do.
Okay.
I think it shall be good for us.
Apollonie and Goué, thank you so much for coming on Hello Cameroon.
Nous, peut-être, faudrait préciser pour revenir sur les activités. Donc, comme elle le disait tout à l'heure en anglais, donc nous allons faire un screening, c'est-à-dire un dépistage gratuit des maladies oculaires, essentiellement la cataracte. Okay. Parce que comme je le disais dans mon propos liminaire, l'hôpital est essentiellement centré sur la cataracte parce que c'est la première cause de cécité réversible au Cameroun. Donc, du coup, parce qu'elle est réversible, nous la traitons et nous donnons des cours abordables. Donc, pour ceux qui viendront au niveau de la perception de Ngouaekele, le lundi 5 mars et le mardi 6 mars, essentiellement les personnes, j'allais particulièrement les femmes, parce que c'est une équipe féminine qui sera présente sur le terrain.
I need to quickly do a translation of that, and you correct me, Ngoué, if I'm mistaken. You say it's only going to be an all-women team, an all-woman team, yes. And you're expecting people to come for cataract
screening.
Yes,
yes. Old people,
mostly old people and women, because
women
this is about women.
It's okay.
Parce que nous avons pour objectif cette année d'opérer 2500 cataractes. L'année dernière, c'est-à-dire moins d'un an.
I need to come in, Apollonie,
oui,
in 30 seconds.
C'est passionnant. Moins d'un an après l'inauguration de notre hôpital, nous avons opéré 591 cataractes sur 837 chirurgies. Donc, vous voyez, et cette année, nous avons décidé d'opérer 2500 cataractes à raison de 200 cataractes par mois.
I hope you get there. In fact, it's only in Women's Day, in Women's Week, that we become bilingual on a program like Hello Cameroon. So you need to stay with us and just bear. I know. Calm down. Let it be. Make peace. Share love. Don't get hot. Instead, take your phone and write to Pochi. Tell me when there is problem between Oga and Madame, who solves the problem? Apollonie, thank you so much for coming on Hello Cameroon. What would I like to? How do you call? What part of the country are you from?
Centre Province, Otele.
Otele. In Otele, comment on appelle ça?
Isingi.
Isingi.
C'est Ambassa.
Ambassa. This is probably the sweetest name I've heard of this. I've heard of Angere, I've heard of Isingi. It's like a love song. This is Angere for you, right? If your name is Mokom, this should be Angere. Okay, right. So what should I give you? Which one? This?
That would be great.
Mokom, what do you like?
Banana, of course.
The thing with banana on this set is that once you leave the set, just start running. Because my staff could follow you and try to get the banana back.
Thank you so much.
It's the most, should I say, the star fruits on this set.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much, both of you.
Merci à vous de nous avoir reçus.
I wish you people a wonderful Women's Week and Women's Day.
Okay, merci beaucoup. Meilleur à vous aussi.
Yes.
Et nous attendons beaucoup de la perception de Ngouaekele, que nous tenons à remercier d'ailleurs. Nous remercions la trésorerie générale de Yaoundé, le percepteur de la perception de Ngouaekele. Le package pour l'opération de la cataracte après dépistage coûte 25 000 francs seulement, y compris l'acte chirurgical, l'hospitalisation.
How do I stop Apollonie? Somebody should help me. Now let's go get, let's talk about this place, the rock called the Bidom Rock. Is Pontianus Lawong, who is telling us about this rock that has mystical but also social and cultural values. Stay with us.
Here we are in Bindom, a small locality in Mentom subdivision of the south, where we hear there is a great mystical rock with political and socio-cultural importance. Let's get to discover it.
The path is narrow, winding and sometimes slippery. It has been prepared by youths of Bindom in such a way as not to tamper with the natural environment.
We are in a community forest where populations have authorization of the government to exploit, to valorize the timbers. But the speciality of our project is to minimize the destruction of the trees, to reduce the number of trees to cut every year. Then the communities will valorize all the products. When they are cutting a tree, they will valorize timber, bark, and the fruits, the branches, all of the materials of this tree.
The distance from the highway to the historic rock is estimated at some 3 kilometers.
We are midway gone into our route to discover the Bindom historic rock. For those who are tired, you either use a stick like me, or you take a rest in this special place prepared for the purpose. And if you have a glass or two, why not sip it?
And here is the point of attraction. The Bindom historic rock covers a surface area of about 600 meters squared. The height is estimated at some 15 meters. In the Bulu language, it is known as the Ndamekok, meaning the house of rocks.
C'est un endroit sacré du village, puisque le village n'était pas encore bien structuré auparavant. Les gens restaient.
This is a sacred place in the village. When the village was not yet well structured, people came here to take measured decisions, cases of crime, or if the villagers were to migrate, since the villagers were not stable enough. They could spend about 5 years on the spot and take off. It was not accessible to everybody but the elders.
À tout le monde, c'était un endroit où c'est seulement les doyens qui venaient là.
Situated in the Bindom Community Forest, the Ndamekok is classified as historic due to the fact that it once served as a hideout for the UPC nationalists as they fought for the independence and reunification of Cameroon in the 50s.
Le village de Bindom a été menacé par une présence de maquisards, puisqu'il ne faut pas le cacher, et ces gens-là,
Bindom village was threatened by the presence of the Maquisards led by Wumli Masaga. In those days, they took refuge in our forest and precisely at the rocks. They spent months there and influenced our people.
Cela influençait tellement notre population, puisque étant là-bas, ils venaient ici.
They used to come here at night to contact people who ran errands for them. Unfortunately, they took their names. When they left, they disclosed the names and many villagers were arrested and sent to prison. After them, the rock was neglected because it gave a negative image.
Ils ont dévoilé et beaucoup de nos personnes sont allées en prison. Donc, cette grotte a abrité ces gens-là. Et après leur passage, les gens ont négligé ça parce que ça a donné je peux dire, une mauvaise image à notre village.
The initiative to develop the Bindom Historic Rock into a tourism site is that of the Program for the Promotion of Tourism, as well as the United Nations Program on Reducing Emissions from Deforestation and Forest Degradation, RED+.
Cet endroit est extrêmement important pour le Cameroun.
This place is extremely important for Cameroon and for Bindom village because it is the base for reflection in those days. The spirit of the village is therefore here. If a young chief takes the initiative to trace the history of his village, it is very important, be it for the conservation in terms of practice or for the African culture that we have to pass over to the younger generation.
As it stands, the historic rock is certainly going to be a veritable revenue generator for the Bindom community as visitors drop something each time they visit.
That has been the Bindom Mystical Rock. We hope you did enjoy the discovery. See you next time, and until then, hello.
Hello, Pontianus Lawang, the guy from Kimbo who is in Bidom and telling us about this mystical rock in Bidom. I'm holding in my hand a t-shirt that was graciously offered to me by the two ladies who just left the set. It looks like we're going to be flooded by gifts this March. You know what? It's good to be in the week of the woman, you know. Most people who come by will bring something. But don't feel like you must. Actually, we don't encourage you to, but if you do, thank you. You know, we won't reject love. Who would? While you're at it, we're going to be reading your messages. It's just coming in like there's trouble on the mountain. So keep telling us in our talking point, who should come between the man and the woman to solve a problem when there is a big problem? Because we assume that for small problems, they can solve it themselves. Now, here on the set, a lady has joined me. She's a diplomat, and she's here so we talk about the Association of Wives of Diplomats. That's also who she is. Madame Kuma Shwala, good morning, and thank you for coming on Hello Cameroon.
Good morning, Pochi.
It's my pleasure to see you. It's been a long time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Meantime, you became the first consul to Nairobi of Cameroon.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah. How is Nairobi?
Nairobi is a beautiful place. It's a challenging place. It's one of the UN headquarters in Africa. So.
And what are some of those things that are on your mind that you would like to see happen now that you are somehow in charge of the relationship between Kenya and Cameroon?
I think the priority is to strengthen the relations between Nairobi and Yaoundé. That is the bilateral relations, take it to a different level, and also to cater for the Cameroonians, because that's principally what the consulate is all about.
Okay.
First of all, the nationals of your country. So you have to make sure that they are in good state in their host country.
Okay. You know, every woman is somebody. You know, besides being a wife of a diplomat and a diplomat herself, she works somewhere. That's the reason why I asked that question, in case you're wondering, why are we not going straight to talk about wives of diplomats? We're now going into that part. Tell me about CD, this association that brings together wives of diplomats. Just briefly, what is the aim? And secondly, how is this week, these 7 days coming up, going to look like for you?
Okay, CEDIC, as we call it in French, but in English is the Club of Cameroonian Diplomats' Wives. So CDD, CCDW.
Yes.
Exactly. So this group brings together wives of diplomats, that is career diplomats.
Okay.
And the women come from all walks of life. And we meet together every first Friday of the month to chat forward the aims of our association, which is solidarity, conviviality, and how the wife of a diplomat can fit in the diplomatic milieu out there while accompanying the spouse abroad, and also for her reinsertion when she comes back to Cameroon.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I understand that, there should be a lot of moving from one place to another. And since the home is, first of all, the place of the woman, the managing of the home is first the woman's priority. What will you say about how you manage moving from one place to another to accompany a diplomat partner?
Well, you know, it is a reserved domain, as I can say. And then you move when you receive instructions to move. You don't just move.
Exactly.
So when the decree falls, you just accompany your husband. Yeah. And you move from one place to the other, as you rightly said, and you perform the same duties that you are called upon, because you are assigned specific duties on the spot to carry out wherever you find yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are some of the activities you'll be doing before it's the 8th of March, and how will you be spending the 8th of March?
Yeah, the association has come together and we have charted a way forward to help women who are suffering from cancer, that is cervical cancer. We want to raise funds through a yard sale we're organizing on Saturday, the 3rd of March, at the Esplanade of the Town Hall. But then we'll join the MINPROF that morning with a fitness walk from the 20th May Boulevard round through Elixono, back to the ministry, through the ministry and back to the Esplanade. And then after then, there will be educative talks.
Okay.
And educative talks by oncologists, gynecologists, talking to people about how to diagnose cervical cancer, what are the measures you need to take, and how to handle the illness.
This is a question I'm probably going to ask every woman who comes on this set. What are some of the things that we do, women do on the 8th of March that you would like us not, like those things ended in 2017, let's not do them again now?
Yes, for me, you know, it's just 24 hours a day. And when you come to the celebrations, it's even less than that. It's even half of that day. So I will want to beckon on the women not to exaggerate the festivities of that day. You see, some take it upon themselves to maybe spend the night out because it's the Women's Day, but they should think of their homes. Because you can spend the whole night out and come back into problems the next morning.
In fact, you may spend the whole night out and come back to no home. Like the house passed while you were outside. Any piece of advice, though, to your fellow wives of diplomats about anything that touches you people as a group?
Well, I will rather address those who are not yet in the fold. Because there are quite a lot who have not yet joined the association. I will just call on them to please join us because we help each other. We learn from each other. We learn from the challenges of the other wives of diplomats who have been abroad, who have served abroad, and we can tell you and direct you to the right places while there, how to behave in the milieu, the diplomatic milieu, and how to reinsert where to go to when you find yourself back in Cameroon.
I wish you people a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you very much.
Is there a fruit in my basket that I could give for you to start your day on a better food than it is, though?
I will go for the one you offer.
I want to offer you this one.
That was what was in my mind.
I'll tell you about this fruit. It's a bit bitter, but it's sweet.
I love it.
Thank you. I hope you have a sweet day. Because the sweetness that comes from this fruit is special.
All right.
It stays
Coming from
with
you, I believe that.
It comes from my heart as well. And I wish you as a woman and you as a wife of diplomat in your association a wonderful week.
Thank you
and a wonderful day. May whatever we do this week and on the 8th of March only contribute to give us more value. And help us to get more respect wherever we are. Now, I'm going to read some of your messages. A few have come in. In a short while, though, we'll be having news. That's in about 2-3 minutes. But before that, let me read some of your messages. This is coming from Panken Godlove, who is in Oku. A very big hello to some of you in Oku. Do you see me very well? Okay, because I see you too. Greetings from Yaoundé. He says, in my opinion, the elder son should be the one to give a solution. It's not my place to question or comment when people speak. I've just told you that Pankeng says that when Papa and Mama have a big trouble, it's the elder son who should come in and do something. Let's read this from Ben Edwin, a boat from Bisongabang, who says, when blood has a problem with the vein, so-called doctors should allow them solve their problem themselves. Inside the room, on top of their bed, 2 heads on a pillow, problems automatically turn to solutions. Ekwang Ato, you are very inspired though. That's good. Let me read that part again. He says, inside the room, on top of their bed, 2 heads on a pillow, problems automatically become a solution. Okay. We are happy you contributed on the program. And let me read one last one before getting to the news. The lady whose name blesses the nation is right here. If you didn't know, she's from Kimbo, but once you hear her name, you know it. This is from Tata Edwin, who is in Olezwa here in Yaoundé. He says, when there is a fight between the spouses, I will intervene depending on the relationship I have with them, even though I know it is wrong as a Christian. So he says, wherever I see fire, I try to douse it out. Even if he says, as a Christian, you shouldn't. Who should? Tell us. That's our talking point. Let's take a brief transition. Then we get updates from one cute lady from Kimbo who gives you news every day at 7 o'clock on this set. I'll meet you behind that. Good morning.
We had to organize the Southwest Cultural Festival for many reasons, but I think the most important ones are, first, to transmit our cultural heritage to the younger generation.
Transmitting culture from the old people to the younger generation, it was well done because a showcase of the outfit was much more loved by the youth. who is there now would like to copy it also.
The curtain raiser of the Southwest Cultural Festival was the historic and highly anticipated female canoe race in Limbe.
Canoe race is our culture because we are from the sea. We are fisher people. So it is part of our culture that we do it all the time.
Our motivation is that every participation has a victory what I want. So we want to take a cup home because we want to make our village be proud of us.
It is the 1st of March 2018, and we're glad to bring you news from the CRTV. This is our 7 a.m. edition coming to you live from Yaoundé, Cameroon. We start with this important information. The board chair of SOPECAM has issued a disclaimer in line with information spreading on national and international media relating to the stay of the President of the Republic abroad from 1982 till date. He says Cameroon Tribune did not make any of such false information available to the national or international media as the different media organs claim. Furthermore, the disclaimer indicates that neither Cameroon Tribune nor its reporters or even students on research in the institution or in the organization have used or report exclusively on the arrival and the return of the President of the Republic each time he is on displacement, and they do not report on the personal stay or the different activities of the head of state abroad. On to other news now. The rehabilitation of the Mora Dabanga Kuseri Road, 2,205 kilometers, will be launched today in Kuseri by the Minister of Public Works, Emmanuel Nganu Njumesi, in the presence of the Minister Delegate in the Presidency of the Republic in charge of Defense and the Secretary of State in charge of Roads. The road construction or the road will ease transportation between Cameroon and Chad and is expected to cost some 700 billion CFA francs. Meantime, the election of staff representatives in different public and private enterprises around the national territory start today. Personnel of the different structures are expected to vote those people to represent them before their hierarchy. The elections will be supervised by the Minister of Labour and Social Security. Elsewhere, the annual conference of the Central and Decentralized Services of the Ministry of Social Affairs takes off today in Yaoundé. It is expected to be chaired by the Minister of Social Affairs, Irene Pauline Nguine. During the two-day event, it will end with the installation of the newly appointed officials of that ministry. A 35 billion CFA francs studies to develop an integrated approach in the development or in the building of road infrastructure in Cameroon has been launched. Sponsored by the World Bank, the project intends to improve infrastructure and transport infrastructure such that roads are not highly solicited, as is the case now. Public Works Minister Emmanuel Nganu Njumesi launched the studies yesterday in Yaoundé and called on the officials in charge to come up with quality work, as you hear in the following report. It is henceforth out of question that land transport in Cameroon continues to be over-solicited, such that roads degrade in no time, whereas other means like maritime and air are there to relieve road circulation. But the problem now centers around the underdeveloped nature of these alternative means of transport, whose infrastructure build is wanting. This is where the launch of a studies to elaborate an integrated strategy for for multifaceted transport infrastructure in Cameroon comes in.
We are going forward so that in the next coming year, we can be using also railway to move from Yaoundé to Kuseri as we are using route now. That is why this study must be conducted.
It will take those in charge 25 months and some 35 billion CFA francs from the World Bank to realize these studies aimed at revolutionizing the transport infrastructure in the country.
This study will, first and foremost, lay the groundwork for planning models which would guide the choice of investments in the transport sector in a way that they are compatible with the economic capability of the government, of the country, in a way that the cross-cutting character of transport as a delivery service is taken into account.
By broadening and making available up-to-date transport infrastructure, the belief is to open Cameroon to tap the economic benefits and development that come with it. The nation's capital, Yaoundé, still witnesses floods that submerge vehicles, some houses and other objects, with the latest flood case happening just few days after a downpour. This is happening in spite of a drainage project in the city that dates 11 months already, or 11 years already. What then explains the persistent floods in the nation's capital? Kilian Dandifon reports.
It is business as usual on the main street Avenue Kennedy of the Central Business District of Yaoundé. Only yesterday, after heavy rains measured at 130 milliliters within 30 minutes, this is what the street looked like. It is a surprise to the urban council officials.
Accidental, because it's not the season of the rain now.
It is also a surprise with the time of the year.
We waited the rain after the second part of the month of March. Accidentally, in the first time of February, we have the strong rain.
The surprise element aside, experts of the drainage system explain that such heavy rains raise the water level on the main canal, blocking the streams that empty into the canal, hence pushing back their waters into the streets. In addition to this, Yaoundé is in the middle of a curve, so water runs down from the slopes to the central town and causes floods. Civility is not a habit of some city dwellers, so when debris, especially plastic objects, carelessly disposed of, are carried along, it blocks the water canal. The main cause of this week's flood in Yaoundé came from the end of the 8.5-kilometer long drainage canal, which got blocked by project material carried along by violent runoffs. The problem has not yet been solved.
If you have more rain than yesterday, you have also the same phenomenon.
When will the floods problem end in Yaoundé?
We have the month of November to come to the end of all our works. In spite of what we have seen now,
Yaoundé may be free from November this year, but the drainage canal only channels the water to flood the environs of the city.
Preparations for the National Forum on Education are going on smoothly. This assurance came Wednesday from Higher Education Minister Jacques Famdongo during the 7th session of the Interministerial Committee tasked with solving problems facing the education sector in Cameroon. Chase Bune was there for the 7 a.m. news.
Almost 2 years into their mission, the Interministerial Committee tasked to solve education complaints filed by teachers' trade unions has been working to come out with the right solutions to problems raised.
The most burning issue which took most of the time was the issue of the integration of contract teachers in Cameroon.
Today's gathering with all the trade unions involved was the latest to evaluate the level of understanding of measures already undertaken and those to come by both parties.
Nous avons tous les syndicats.
All the syndicates from both the English and French subsystems of education were represented. which was not the case previously. And it is a major advancement in our negotiations. The committee's president and higher education minister Jacques Famendongo, flanked by colleagues, saluted the trade union leaders for their patriotism in the gradual process of providing long-term satisfactory answers to all their questions.
We denounce the slowness in treating documents because we were already waiting for the launching of another phase.
A profound answer to most of the issues, including the contract teachers' palaver, will probably be answered in the forthcoming States General for Education.
Having children out of wedlock is gradually becoming a social issue in Cameroon, mostly affecting girls. To go by public opinion, women are always ready to marry men who already have children, and on the contrary, men would hardly go for women who already have kids. To this, many say it is due to the pressure often exerted by the family members of the men. Beatrice Ngom now recounts the ordeal of some single mothers in Cameroon.
Her world came crumbling 11 years ago when she was sexually abused. At 28 today, she vividly remembers the incident, full of twists.
I was raped by my uncle at the age of 11. He always used to come and disturb me, so I decided to always stay with a boy in my room. I became pregnant at the age of 17 by the boy.
Having a child from the painful encounter was an issue she had to live and deal with. Society did not ease her ordeal.
His family never supported because they didn't want me, because they saw me as a bad girl having a child at an early age.
Life, however, smiled at her again when she walked down the aisle.
When he went back to present me to his family that this is the person you want to spend the rest of his life with, they welcomed me and I walked down the aisle.
Hers is a fate shared by many girls who ended up with unwanted and unplanned pregnancies. They have found support in the care, counseling and friendship of the National Network of Aunties.
We are actually working with victim survivors. Our strength actually lies in the fact that they can convincingly talk to their teens because they know exactly what it is and what they have gone through.
Created in 2005, the association has put more than 10,000 rape victims and teenage mothers on the path of hope. They don't intend stopping just yet.
We actually target children who live in hotspots. Hotspots means where we have children of teenage sex workers and children who live around where sex work is practiced.
Their stories may be painstakingly similar and their fate different, but the desire of these girls is to find compassion in a society they say should comfort rather than reject them.
And that's exactly how it should be. Beatrice Ngum concluding this edition of the 7 a.m. news. Thanks for always choosing CRTV to get informed. More news is up at 8 in the French language and at midday. And don't forget, news continues on CRTV News. But until then, stay tuned to Hello Cameroon.
Thank you so much, Emanuela Vemnui, for opening the second hour or the second page of Hello Cameroon. I'll be looking forward to another moment with you on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, the rendezvous is taken.
Definitely. But tomorrow you're back here at 7, is that so? Exactly. With Eric Christiania to update you on how the world is evolving. Now, if you are called Chotu Linda Gang or George Eno Bissong, today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you. This is a song I'm sending out to you with much love. It's coming from Skitty Boy. Please be a Skitty Boy. Be a fun person right now and enjoy. Happy birthday. Stay with us. Just enjoy.
You say I'm fine, commissaire. Say I'm on command, I procure. Naponia one day, Naponia one day, Naponia one day. When you go confirm you call up on the beat. What a one man. Chinyokwa S Pampoya. My sina boko. Mampoya. My sina boko. nanga boko. Ça c'est pour les boys, ça c'est pour les boys. Ça c'est pour les boys. Ça c'est pour les boys. Ça c'est pour les boys, ça c'est pour les boys. Ça c'est pour les boys, ça c'est pour les boys. Ça c'est pour les boys, ça c'est pour les boys. When I enter in Sabato, I put my dedo in sa pocket, muse for the pocket and a palm. Abato the save for any budget. The last thing where I get for do a boy and I for try the budget. When I call my ticket, my mind all day in peace. I need to watch the last match before I go for sleep. Sleepless, I don't get me sleepless. Before I chop, I need to go for market and a sweet place. When I see John Grand Freddy, though I go down for his job, I swear to God he must to give me dough. We know the fear we rapid the job again. Policeman it say, Interperica, now you pago pay. Yeah, for my quarter, we know the play. Touch money, Perica, oh boy, you go green for day. Boy, then I'm Jacka, them for good drum. We only toss the fuck with the kid at time, boy. Yeah, my sin and a boko. Mambo, yeah. My sin and a boko. Bang de la guy, mobile de la mort. Anyhow we did, garage one song. Mambo, yeah. My sin and a boko. Ça c'est pour les boys, ça c'est pour les boys. Ça c'est pour les boys, ça c'est pour les boys. Ça c'est pour les boys, ça c'est pour les boys. Ça c'est pour les boys, ça c'est pour les boys. Ça c'est pour les boys, ça c'est pour les boys. Car, je suis un barando. Matanga flip avec le sac à dos. When I pass for you door, I pick and go. And as I vanish, I vanish, show. For my pashi, elle est bombe, elle est maté qu'on faut quoi. Elle est tout et money go. All time money one for toi. Bang, 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 we know the fear and talk. C'est le cœur ou la rage que tu veux voir encore. Sakani, 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 ma boya. Oase, ma boya. Wamse matongo, ma boya. Ben sikini, benam, ma boya. Moi ici na la boko. Ma boya. Moi ici na la boko. Bang de la guy, mobile de la mort. Anyhow we did, garage one song. Ma boya. Moi ici na la boko. Ça c'est pour les boys, ça c'est pour les boys. Ça c'est pour les boys, ça c'est pour les boys. Ça c'est pour les boys, ça c'est pour les boys. Ça c'est pour les boys, ça c'est pour les boys. Ça c'est pour les boys, ça c'est pour les boys. Waouh, c'est grand. Je me lève comme ça dimanche. Et à quoi non?
Boy, if you're a boy this morning, we're sending you lots of love from Hello Cameroon. Please stay with us. We did say this song is going out specially to two persons who have their birthday today. If you're in that category, you know what we say now. Make the day your own. Make the 24-hour your own. Paint it your color. If you want to be snoring throughout the day, that's your choice. But you need to make it clear. If you're still sleeping now, somebody should wake you up and ask you, do you still want to continue sleeping throughout your birthday? Or in which case we'll leave you to sleep. Or you want to get up and grab this day and run with it before it's midnight. Because once it's midnight, it's taken from you. It becomes like Cinderella's shoes. Yesterday, it was the birthday of a few persons who really matter to us in this house and us in the media world. I'm thinking of Mabi Azefo Fominyen, the lady who started Hello Cameroon. Yesterday was her birthday, and we did try as best as we could to send this birthday through the Android thing, you know, through Facebook, through WhatsApp, in any form. It was also the birthday of Freddy Etabisong, our big bro, the guy on the news. If you don't know his face, and I don't know why you wouldn't know his face, just sit and watch CRTV at 7:30 p.m. And of course, my beau, Etumbo Eselem Edwin. Oh, I've gotten myself into trouble because this guy has a lot of issues. Happy birthday again, bro. You received a bottle of champagne from one very cute lady. I don't know what else you received, but you were a lucky guy. But that day is ended now. Today is the day of George Eno Bisong and Chotu Lindangang and a host of others who have their birthday today. Grab it and run with it. If you stay there and you're looking at, you're by yourself. Baldwin Sama has entered, so we'll look at what the papers are having today so that you have an idea of what you want to read or what stories you want to follow before you step out of your bed or out of your home. Baldwin, good morning.
Good morning, Pochi.
How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Very happy to have you.
The pleasure is mine.
Now tell me, what are some of those stories that pop out when you go through papers?
Many stories, Pochi, and we begin our review this morning with Cameroon Tribune. On its front page, talks about this special aid from the United Nations as far as managing refugees in Cameroon is concerned. The paper says the United Nations has made available the sum of 5 billion CFA funds to help as far as managing refugees in the far north region of Cameroon is concerned. The United Nations Under Secretary for Humanitarian Affairs, Ursula Mueller, announced the creation of a special fund to support refugees and displaced persons on Cameroonian soil. Recently, during a visit to the northern part of Cameroon, this special aid coming from the United Nations, happily received by the government of Cameroon, that will go a long way to help manage refugees and other displaced persons on Cameroonian soil. Get to read the details in the latest edition of Cameroon Tribune, published this Thursday morning. We stay with a lone bilingual daily, Cameroon Tribune, this time to talk about the Fecafoot Normalization Committee, the mandate extended by the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, to the 31st of August this year, 2018. Their mandate got expired yesterday, Wednesday, the 28th of February. This two-month FIFA mission to Cameroon on Tuesday during a press briefing here in Yaoundé had to confirm that information, giving two main reasons as to why the mandate has been extended. They have been given 6 more months for them to be able to organize free, fair and transparent elections and the help of the Cameroon Football Federation, with the main reason being the non-adoption of the 2011 law on sports in Cameroon. Read that in this edition of Cameroon Tribune. We leave Cameroon Tribune to talk about the latest edition of Mutation. It has this story linked to this exclusive interview granted by the paramount ruler of the Bafos recently to Jeune Afrique magazine that has been making headline news, especially on social media, as concerns his own point of view with regards to what may just be the solution to the Anglophone crisis. The paper in today's edition of its publication says the family of the paramount ruler has reacted. We are talking about Mutation. Mutation published this Thursday. The family says his interview was denatured in the latest edition of Jeune Afrique magazine, and says everything said about their father, the paramount ruler, is false in that interview published in the latest edition of the latest edition of Jeune Afrique magazine. We leave Mutation to talk about the latest edition of Anecdotes that talks about the FIFA Fecafoot saga with the Fecafoot Normalization Committee. The members who've had their mandate extended, they have 6 more months to deliver the goods. They have up to the 31st of August this year, 2018, as per the decision arrived at by the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, and confirmed by the 2 FIFA envoys who were in Cameroon recently, and that was during a press briefing in Yaoundé. And the paper has this exclusive interview with a former Indomitable Lion, Joseph Antoine Bell, who talks about how some Cameroonians, the key role played by some Cameroonians as far as this crisis plaguing the football governing body in Cameroon, Fecafoot, is concerned. Get to know more about what Joseph Antoine Bell thinks about the Fecafoot Normalization Committee and the crisis plaguing the football body in this edition of L'Anecdote. Eden, the latest edition of its publication, talks about this recent decision signed by the Prime Minister, head of government, saying that it trims flight privileges for company bosses in Cameroon. The text signed recently, and says that it has to curb waste in public spending in Cameroon. Read the details in the latest edition of Eden, published this Thursday morning. The Post Weekender takes us to talk about the flag bearer of the Social Democratic Front, the nation's leading opposition political party. In this year's presidential election, Joshua Osei, who was granted an exclusive interview and raises a number of issues in the exclusive interview. He granted the Post Weekender says issues on his nationality raised by so many Cameroonians, especially on social media, all these issues are false and rubbishes all those who think the nation Cameroon cannot change, and he says he is not scared of any political opponents during the 2018 presidential election and strongly believes he was the right candidate chosen by the Social Democratic Front and knows he is capable for defending the interests of Cameroonians if he is given the opportunity to be the president of the republic. Many burning issues raised in this exclusive interview in the Post Weekender with Joshua Osei, the candidate of the Social Democratic Front in this year's presidential election. The Guardian Post, first this edition of its publication, talks about the 2018 presidential election. Who should lead the possible Akeve Muna, Maurice Kamto, or Joshua Osei coalition if these three candidates for the 2018 presidential election should form a coalition to come together? Who should be the leader of this coalition of these three big weeks prior to this year's 2018 presidential election? That is a question that the paper is asking. Given the profile of each of these candidates and the strength and weaknesses of each of them, and who actually should be the flag bearer, if at all a coalition is formed amongst these three persons. Media Freak talks about the plight of some teachers in Cameroon, especially some of them who were remanded in custody here in Yaoundé on Tuesday when they simply wanted to air out the dissatisfaction with regards to their working and living conditions upon graduation from different professional schools in Cameroon. What exactly what happens to them, the plight, what they are going through in Cameroon. That's what you can read in the latest edition of Media Freak. We end with the latest edition of Nyanga magazine, published by Sopekam. In this edition of Nyanga magazine, it has as guest the Bamenda Boy, the Cameroonian artist from Boyo, come in the northwest Magasco. He talks about his life, his dream, his sudden rise as far as the music is concerned, and says he sold Okwika in the market before becoming who he is today. And also in this edition of Nyanga magazine, talks about this young Cameroonian artist Lido, the slam lady, who she is and how actually she became popular and her dream of becoming who she is today. And a key issue raised in this edition of Nyanga magazine happens to be the matrimonial type that most ladies prefer today. Cameroonian ladies, do they go in for monogamy or do they prefer polygamy? There was a Vox Pop and an in-depth report of what regime most ladies, especially Cameroonian ladies, love. It also talks about the beautiful Ngondo festival of the Sawa people in the Littoral region. The latest edition of Nyanga magazine has beautiful profiles of young, talented Cameroonians, interesting profiles of some beautiful places you've never visited in Cameroon, and other interesting stories. It costs just 1,500 francs, Nyanga magazine, and it is published by Sopekam.
Thank you so much, Bodin Sama, for coming on the program and for giving us a read ahead of the papers this morning.
You're welcome.
Now you know which papers or which stories you want to follow as you step out. If you're thinking of going out of your home at this time, we're encouraging you to go on to 88.8. That's the frequency of the national station of the CRTV. You'll find people like Bodin Sama and Puchi trying to give you a better start of your day. Bodin, tell me, when there is problem between you and Madam, who should come in? Is it your mother-in-law? Is it, you see when I say mother-in-law, I step back a bit. I don't want you to slap me. Is it who should come in?
Nobody. Nobody.
It will get rotten now.
Nobody. Just the two of us.
Okay.
Nobody. There's no third party that is needed as far as solving a problem.
Even if it's big trouble?
No. Nobody. Just two of
you. Just the
you.
two of you?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. That's your opinion. We've taken off. Bodin, thank you for coming.
You're
See you on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Now let me read this that is coming from, the man who wrote us on Tuesday, talking about his 3 wives who cook for him as usual on the 8th of March. He's written again, the Pa Yerima from Bangola. good morning, sir, and our love to you and your family. This is what you say. When there is problem between them, children should intervene if they are mature. But if they are not, they should cry as usual, as loud as possible, to call the attention of the neighbors. For those neighbors, they should do objective mediation, avoiding putting fire to separate them, knowing that in my village, as you say, a disease that attacks cocoa will sooner or later attack coffee. Permit me to beg the Imam of Bangolan to make special prayer for peace in Cameroon, because as you say, if there's no peace, there's no halo, there's no joy. Okay, I read your long message because I kind of agree with everything you say. You are very peaceful this time. We don't want us fights. Imam Chimago Malam Yerima, thank you so much. You say you're writing us from the rice farm in Bangolan. If you're around the rice farm and you're eating your rice just by yourself and not thinking of us, there's no problem. We'll have a nice time enjoying your rice. Now let's go talk about hypertension. What is hypertension? How can it affect you? You never can know too much about health. This is our health page. Behind that, I'll be talking to Charles Sebune about this day in history. Stay with us.
Hypertension is just more of an increase in the pressure of blood that flows inside the blood vessels. If I were to take an example, it would be more of like, if we have like a building here, we'll have the pipes that move within the building that take water to every other rooms of the building, you know. And in our body, there is like what we call generally the veins. You know, there are different types. There's the veins, there's the arteries, but what we call generally is the vein. The veins are more like the pipes that take blood from the heart to every other area. Okay, the blood flow in the pipes or in the vein is just like when you open water and it flows very slowly. All right, if you open water, when the pressure of the water is high, when you open water, it comes out with a lot of force. So when we say high blood pressure, it is more of the rate at which the blood is flowing inside those pipes or inside the veins. It's faster and it is stronger than it is actually supposed to be. If the pressure is not reduced, then of course the veins can break up. You know, and when they break up, example, if you take like a stroke, if they break up in the brain, then of course the blood flow into places where it's not supposed to flow, and that is where you have somebody who collapses immediately. You know, there are other complications, you know, that can also come as a result of that. If you take fat and you put fat, if you wash the sink and you put fat, and fat goes inside the pipes, it will settle inside the pipes, and slowly, you will see that the pipe where the water was passing, it has reduced because the fat have gone inside it. It is to say it works in the same way with the blood circulation. When we consume a lot of fat, then of course it can settle also inside the blood vessels. And when it settles inside the blood vessels, if the hole was more like this, and then it reduces to this, then the blood that was flowing inside the large hole, because the hole have gone small, it is now smaller, but the same amount, and that is why it makes it high. So it is the main thing that causes it is more of our diet. You know, we are looking, when we see there's an increased trend in those diseases, the main thing is more of, you know, what we eat and what we do. We eat a lot of salt, we eat a lot of fat, we eat a lot of fried food, you know, and then we don't eat a lot of vegetables. If I think like in Seoul here, before it was fufu and jama-jama, but now fufu and jama-jama without meat is more like it's poverty. Fufu and jama-jama without fried something, it is as if it is poverty. And when I say what we do, as our lifestyle increases, we change very fast. You know, if we look now, the place, if I take say that before we have just main transportation vehicles that will carry from here to Bamenda, and then we have taxis. Now we have bikes, you know, and the bikes, from the time when we have bikes in this country, when we started using bikes, lifestyle changes even more than the changes that we had within the past 20 years. And it's because they now take us everywhere, you know.
There's no time to walk anymore.
There is no time to walk. The same thing with TV. You know, I know you are from TV and we like TV, but we now have so many programs and so many things that when we sit, we just relax. You know, like I said, we move from here, go home, sit on the chair, and then you watch TV, and then you drink, and then you eat, and we don't move. You know, But then if we are eating and burning those things, then of course the impact will not be in our body like it is at the moment. If we are waiting to see, that we are going to see these signs before we start reacting, by the time we see signs, there are already complications, which means that the impact is already very high. The general message which we give, which we are telling the people is more of, especially women from 35, men from 40, but here we encourage people from 35 years or from 30, because we look at the trend from the consultations or from the screenings that we've been doing. We say that anybody from 30, you should start checking your body, just like somebody who have a car, do the check every year. We take more care of our cars than we take of our body. The good thing is that when you can check and see that you are not hypertensive, but you are pre-hypertensive, which is more of the chances are it's going to be, then of course you can get advice, medical advice from the doctors, from the nurses, that will help you to not remain in pre, but even go back to normal. Before we used to say an egg a day keeps you out of the doctor. No, 5 fruits a day keep you away from the doctor. If you can take those 5 fruits and then eat more vegetables, and then you do your exercises, the chances are you don't just prevent these diseases, you prevent practically every disease. Every disease. There is nothing that works in the prevention of diseases than exercise. If there was a tablet that could do what exercise is doing, I will give it to each and every person that comes in front of me.
Hypertension, that's what we were talking about in that piece with in our health page. Thank you so much for staying with Hello Cameroon and for learning a little bit more about your health. Let me read this message that is coming from the Duke, Ernest Akufo. He says, why should there even be a problem in the family, since there can't be any family devoid of problems? The solution lies in the couple and in their bedroom. When there is a third party, the solution is not forthcoming. It extends and aggravates. Good morning to all of you, to all the lovely couples. I join you, Ernest Akufo, to say good morning to all the couples watching us today. We hope we are touching you in one way or another and helping to make your home a more solid place. I strongly believe that the society starts with a home, a family. That unit defines mankind. So anything we do, we hope we are solidifying it and not fragilizing it. A day in history. Today is a Civil Aviation Day. That's what Charles Bonnet tells me, and that's what we're going to be talking about right now. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Pochi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Happy to have you on the set.
Same to you.
You'll be sharing my set for a while. We're going to first talk Civil Aviation Day.
Absolutely.
And then after that, we'll be meeting a very resourceful woman.
Absolutely.
To talk about something that you need to sit with us to enjoy. But first, let's talk about the day in history.
You are correct, because on a day like this in 1990, the International Civil Aviation or Civil Protection Agency or Defense established March 1 as Civil Aviation Day. I hope you will get images very soon for us to illustrate what we are talking about. And it was the conclusion of the entry into force of the Civil Protection Constitution back in 1972. And this is what we are talking about. This is Yaoundé, the capital of Cameroon. And when we talk about civil protection, we are talking about the prevention of disasters and other occurrences and management. A few days ago, we had floods across the nation's capital. These are the kind of issues that the Civil Protection Agency worldwide is taking care of to ensure that people are not surprised when it comes to management of disasters, when it comes to the prevention of disasters in terms of floods, in terms of landslides, and much more you can think about.
Charles, I need to make that correction. We're talking about civil protection.
Civil protection.
Not civil aviation. It's not about planes and airports and stuff.
Absolutely.
It's about our environment.
It's about our environment and protecting them.
Definitely.
The fire circuits of where we are living, where we are working.
Helping our drainage systems to work better so that we don't have the kind of floods we have.
Absolutely.
In
this
cities.
is what we are talking about. And Cameroon is one of the fewest countries in the world to have an entire department just for civil protection, and it is located in the Ministry of Territorial Administration and Decentralization. Focus this year is how national institutions can be strengthened to respond efficiently to civil protection occurrences and their management worldwide. So we hope that you learned something. You should take care of your drainage system. You should take care of before constructing a house even, you should know that we are in a marshy area, that we are in a seismic area where you cannot construct. So demographers,
you should also take care of
planners,
your waste. How do you dispose of your waste?
Your waste?
Because that's how we end up with blocked drainage systems
in most parts of our cities.
But Charles, let me beg this question. Tell me, if we are among the few countries to have an office that is in charge of civil protection, the pictures you showed there are of cities in Cameroon.
Yeah.
There is a paradox.
Because one, we are very irresponsible. I didn't say they are irresponsible. Yeah. We are, all of us inclusive.
Okay.
Cameroon is one of the fewest countries in the world where you are in a taxi or in a cab and somebody is eating.
I see what you're talking
about. Somebody is eating and the person is eating. It takes
it just goes
a plastic
up through the window.
By the window. You are destroying the ecosystem, and by the time you tell the person that what you did, va là-bas, c'est la cité de ton père.
Okay. Even in front of banks, now that we have cash machines everywhere, I mean, if people in different parts of the world use their cash machines the way we use ours, there will be no place to pass because papers will be littered the whole place.
Everywhere.
You know, people, first of all, you must not get a receipt. It's optional. But people systematically get the receipt, then dump it without even, there is a trash can just nearby. Sometimes it's fun, then sometimes it breaks my heart.
And then the last thing I will put for as a weakness, I think we don't have a strong rule of law system.
I agree. But now that you said,
the law should be respected.
Thank you. The law should be respected. No, don't think I'm shutting him up. I'm not. It's just that it is time for us to move to the next thing. But the point is made. We need to respect the laws, and the people in charge of doing that should do their job. Yeah. That said, let's move to part 2 of Charles Ebune on this program today. Just a brief transition, and then we'll meet a lady. You don't, if you were supposed to go get coffee, this is a transition. Just run, go get coffee, because this is tough. Stay with us.
L'enfant, quand il va dans la rue, il s'intègre dans un nouveau milieu de vie, où il a un certain nombre d'acquisitions, un certain nombre de comportements, des règles de vie qui sont complètement différentes de ce que la société a prévu pour son âge. Et par rapport
il a intégré ces nouveaux codes-là.
Tout à fait.
Il peut venir des familles recomposées, du genre, soit maman est morte, papa s'est remarié, et la deuxième, du moins, la nouvelle maman vient maltraiter l'enfant, et l'enfant se sent pas à l'aise, il va dans la rue. Voilà. Ou alors l'enfant vole à la maison, il a peur de rentrer parce qu'on va le fouetter. Ou alors c'est papa qui est mort, maman fait sa vie, et l'enfant se sent abandonné. Il regagne la rue.
Bienvenue à Thématique, bienvenue au temps du débat social sur la CRTV qui s'intéresse à un phénomène qui nous préoccupe tous, le phénomène des enfants de la rue, mais surtout aux voies de sortie. Comment vivre après la rue, comment se réorganiser, réintégrer le circuit familial, comment se départir des traumatismes subis loin de l'encadrement familial, loin de l'affection de ses parents, comment redevenir un enfant normal.
Thank you so much for that brief transition that permits us to receive Madam Irene Chinje. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
It's Charles who brought you here. Charles, please, can you tell us a little bit more about this mama and why you chose her?
We'll talk our content then before doing a biography. Hello, Mom. Good morning and welcome to Hello Cameroon.
Thank you.
It's been long since we had you. Irene Chinje is a women's rights defender.
Okay.
She does so many things. We'll be discovering them in the course of the program. Women's Day is just beside. You have been working with young girls, empowering them over the years. What is your latest product in the market to defend the girl child women?
Well, the most recent thing is trying to work with child trafficking or child slavery, because these young girls, they're being used and they don't have, they're not being remunerated enough for what they do. And why this comes up is, earlier on, she mentioned the family, and you see the value of the family in every society. If you have well-groomed families, then we won't have problems. Even without the rule of law, if a child is well-disciplined, a child knows that I don't throw things carelessly around. So all of those things, it is from the family. And if now we have taken our roles as mothers and given to babysitters, what do we expect? The family is going to be fractured.
Yeah.
And when the family is fractured, we don't have any more rule in society. The society has no grounds. There's no bearing. So that is why child trafficking for us, or child slavery, is one thing we are taking up so seriously now, and trying to see how these young girls can be groomed or nurtured into some lucrative business rather than go and be babysitters.
Let me comment, Madam Mami Chinje, before you continue. When you say child trafficking, some of us think it's too strong and too far away. Do you want to make it real for our viewers by giving us examples?
For somebody who is in Gary Gombos,
exactly,
in the east, somebody who is in the northwest, or somebody who is
what we really mean, what we really mean is, you take a child from Kambe or from So or from Com, and you bring the child to work in Yaoundé. When they go to the families, normally we have discovered it is a family member who goes to negotiate for that child to be brought out. Okay. When the family member goes there, it's like, oh, I'm taking her, she will go and learn a trade, she will go to school. But the end result is that child gets to Yaoundé. Instead of the trade or the school, oh, go and stay with my friend and help with the baby. That is child trafficking. That is child slavery. Because that child is going there on your own terms, not the terms on which you agreed with the parents. Okay, that child is taken there, that child goes there, the conditions are not favorable for the child. What happens? The child runs out of the home, you find the child in the street, or you find the child going to other friends, and then, a lot of things come after that.
How much of it is a problem in Cameroon? Do you have figures? And how are you trying to rehabilitate these children to their families?
I don't have figures. As I can say, I work with an organization in the United Kingdom, and I relate to so many women groups.
Around the world?
East, West, and Central Africa. And then in Cameroon itself, I'm not giving statistics. Even I wouldn't give statistics in Tanzania, where I found it, or Uganda. But in Cameroon, we work with some societies. And what I have been doing is trying to help the women who are working with those girls to see what skills can be transmitted to these children so that these children become.
And what are you proposing as skills?
Well, some can still go back to school. I think I can testify to 2 girls or so who have gone back to school, and they are graduates today.
And that's the essence of Hello Cameroon, because we want to see people who provide solutions to real problems.
But in this campaign that you're leading, what are some of the partners that you need, or who are some of the partners that, because it's a multifaceted issue you are raising there?
We need the forces of law and order. We need the social welfare, the women empowerment. Those are the 3 main groups that we'll need. First, why do we need the law officers? When you get children like that, the law officers have to intervene to bring in, some stability before the child is handed over to whoever is going to groom that child or bring the child up. The social welfare comes in to psychologically reconstruct that child, because that child has been traumatized, and you need to build that child's esteem to be able to accept to do anything. That's the most difficult part of it.
Mami Chinje, let me. Well, you know, when you and I were talking grammar like this in front of television, sometimes we are not getting the message across properly. But I heard you, and so far you've been speaking for parents and for those children. What do people who receive these children tell you about themselves or about what is happening? Because trafficking is a two-party thing.
Yeah.
You have on one hand families and other people who want a child, who hope for a child to have a better living condition by going somewhere else far away from them. It breaks the link somehow. Yeah. But you have on another side some people. Yeah. Tell us about those people.
The other people who
receive the people, like if I receive a house girl from Kumbo, for example,
yeah.
What would people like me say, tell you?
A worker like you.
Mm-hmm. In your campaign, what do you hear from people who receive these children? Mm-hmm.
Well, they take the children because they want, rightly they tell you, the child will work with me for some time and then I'll send the child to school eventually.
Okay.
That is well said. That is accepted. But is that what is practical?
Okay, that's where the problem is.
That's where the problem is, because we are more talking than action. That is a general problem I've seen with women working. Even conceiving whatever projects they are doing, they talk more. They can tell you a whole lot about transforming this banana to make a cake or something. But in the end,
it has not started.
That is not the product you see. And that is our problem.
But apart from women's issue, Madam Chinje talks about peace, rallying women in the local communities, in the rural areas. She's not part of the Yaoundé Women. Yaoundé Women is a group of women in Washington that is the well-educated, the well-fed, the...
Okay. I didn't know that.
That's a description. When you hear Yaoundé Women or Douala Women. Anyway, it's a description of people, women who are well taken care of. When you meet the rural communities in particular, how do you discuss with them?
No, that is the best group of women you can work with, and they will only accept you if you empathize with them.
Sure.
You take yourself to their level, understand their language, you work with them. But unfortunately, we have misused that so much that the women don't have confidence in us when you go back there. So you need to really go back into the community, live with them.
Would you say we are a society that preys on vulnerable people like women and children? I mean, I want you to look at your career globally. What is your opinion of that statement?
That is my opinion. Yes. We capitalize on vulnerable. Yeah, because our dream now is to make money. That is one craze now. Women, we've been doing women empowerment. We're trying to empower the women. Who are the women we want to empower? Is it me and you? No, it's the rural community. We need to go back and empower those women. But when we get there, what do? We use them. I have monitored projects. I feel so bad about it. I feel sad. I get sick when I go to monitor projects. This is a project people have funded. It's not your money. You've written, and those people out there in Europe, what do? It is a sacrifice to give you that money.
It is your taxpayers' money.
Then you take it and you enrich yourself rather than do the project. Puchi, just between us, the number of projects that are supposedly to have been done in Cameroon, if we did it effectively, would the women not be empowered? Will we be talking of empowerment today? We'll see empowered women. Because we normally want to empower the rural women, the grassroots women. But we enrich ourselves and we leave them still poorer.
Since you talk with the rural women, the girl child in the basic Cameroonian communities, how can we rebuild the trust? Because it seems to me that the bridge no longer exists.
No, there is still hope.
Okay.
There is still hope.
Okay.
And
if you were to put it in point form or in simple sentences, so people watching us could know how we can make it better. Because by now, I mean, people have an idea what is wrong. You receive money for a project, but you enrich yourself. You do that, you do it again, and you do it again. Meantime, the community remains poor, and each year will come on television to say we are going to do a campaign. Now, how do we mend this in simple ways?
Well, simply is when you get back to those women and you get their idea of what is necessary or what they need, you don't impose your project on them. When you go to the community, the first thing is what is very needed for this community. Once you've gotten that and you have the fundings, go back and do the project. Simple. Go back and do the project. To be frank with you, I'll say, if you have a project of 5 million, even if you're to keep money, please keep 1 million, use 4 million on the ground. You will realize that you've done so much. And when you've done that project, other projects will come, because the trust in you will make that others will continue to give. And you can continue making your 1 million. I don't,
do we have an office? Well said, and I hope it's gone across. It's for you. It's for you.
Absolutely.
Take it calm.
She's practical.
But do we have an office in Cameroon that is in charge of investigating that kind of money? Or in your career, at what level can administration
come in,
put a light on that kind of activity?
We
don't. The way you look at it, we don't.
We don't have.
Okay.
We don't have. And I think it's a good idea.
So even ANIF cannot do that to check on money of funding, whether the funding was, I mean, the National Financial Investigative Agency cannot do that?
Not at all.
That is not their mission.
Because projects are somehow personal, as I can say.
Okay.
The law does
under
not...
charity.
Yes. The law does not impound on anybody.
In fact, the law is blind to that for now.
Exactly.
I think that's what we should say. Exactly. But tell me, we are in the week, we are in the 7 days that will lead to International Women's Day, and we are anxiously looking at how women will celebrate this day, and will it be better than last year? As a woman, what are some of those things that you would like to say? It ended in 2017. We're not going to do it again in 2018.
First, I will say the scrap of uniform. But they've already come up with the Women's Day uniform. Yeah, because that is so much money.
I like you.
Yes. No, let's be realistic.
Yes.
Go ahead, Ma.
I tell you, I represent Africa, East, West, and Central Africa.
Okay.
We are nowhere.
Okay.
We seem so comfortable in Cameroon. Please go out.
But
you'll have a glimpse of
she's
things.
still talking. You say we should scrap the wrapper.
The next.
This mama says that we should scrap the ashwabi.
Next thing. Next thing is marching. If we are marching, we should march for a cause. We're not just going to march because we are what are we celebrating?
Okay.
Go for a cause. If I have a cause, if women need something now, there's been this thing on the political agenda, 30% for women. Have women ever marched out that they need it? They don't.
I think they have achieved that for National Assembly and the Senate.
I don't know.
The National Assembly
is that all on your list?
The National Assembly is 31% and the Senate is 21%.
Charles, this week, we're being very open to the women. We're being
absolutely.
very nice
Go ahead.
to all of
the
you.
next, and what should we take
the
out?
next thing?
Yeah. So when we take out, if we are marching, we march for a cause.
For a cause.
And then we need to educate the women.
Okay.
There's a lot of education. The theme is discrimination, right? There is so much on discrimination. When we go and have these roundtable conferences up there, how does it reach the woman?
Don't you see those themes as windows that they have?
If there is an element of discrimination we have to eliminate this year in our own Cameroonian context against women, what will you say we should eliminate?
Well, discrimination against women. In Cameroon, I don't really know whether I have much to say when you see me thinking about, because
I know that women still have problems with lands.
There's so much issue. There's
just
so many issues.
Anything that comes to your mind, though?
What comes to my mind first, it will be the discrimination against the underprivileged.
Okay.
Because women discriminate against their own partners who are underprivileged. That is one thing. We don't realize it. We do it unconsciously, but it is a reality that we should not discriminate against them.
We just have like 2 minutes to go. Mami Chinje, I'm calling you that because it's out of affection. Tell me, what would you want to say as word of advice or as positive note about going forward regarding the status of the woman?
First, the women should build up themselves, build up their self-esteem, build up their families. As I still, I relate more on family because that is the basis of everything. Any good home will produce a good person. Okay. So any woman who has a good foundation in her family, has command of her children, can, when you have a command of your home, you and the husband, you work together. Because what we say is the man and the woman should work together for the development of the society. And it starts from the two of you being cordial, understanding yourselves within the home and going out. That is what you portray outside. So I'll advise more women to build more rather than going in chasing money and bringing
rather
up
than
children.
neglecting.
Most Cameroonian women speak Pidgin, especially those you relate to. Is that something you would like to talk
in 30 seconds?
In 30 seconds in Pidgin?
Like to talk to your rural women in Pidgin?
To your rural women.
Well, my sisters, my mama them, one thing I want to tell you, I say, Women's Day, they come again. As this Women's Day, they come, no be only someone who go march, no be only someone who wear uniform, no be someone who go dance, we drink nimbo, we drunk. At the back when I say, when I come out, when I remember say, that day na one day, una still get plenty thing them for doing money, una go use them for day. Na money una define. Una not forget picking them, una not forget papa. Una try for respect una self for anything una de do. If we go begin ask for change, I think say we go start from now. When we head open say we not go match only for match. Which we want them the woman they made a change them. When we ask them and then we go before.
And then you say woman name and then they answer yeah. I like that.
Nobody would have said it better than
this is
Irene,
a short
Chinje.
transition for us to say bye-bye to Irene Chinje, who was on the set, and also Charles Ebuna will see you on Tuesday.
Absolutely.
And behind that, Daniel Menanga will give you updates on what says the news at 8 o'clock. I'll be back after.
Yeah, you're taking on the offense. Yeah, taking on the offense. That's right. That's what I'm saying. That's right. We dropped the arm. What happened? What's wrong?
You're what's wrong, Brian. I'm tired. I'm in here trying to make dinner and deal with Isaiah and deal with this house. And you don't help me. Why? You know what? You need to be out looking for a job.
I went out looking for a job, but I got to stay near the phone just in case they call. You forgot to pay the phone bill.
I forgot to pay the cell phone bill? Are you crazy? Have you lost your... You know what? I'm done.
I thought it was a burglar.
Yeah, in my house.
Yeah, I was going to bring it back.
Right. You was gonna hit me?
No,
you was gonna hit me, Gavin?
If you were the burglar, but you're not the burglar,
you got one time.
No.
One time to lose your mind.
What you doing home? No. What are you doing?
You know what? Life is tough. You're strong. Okay, you see the problem and you're doing something about it. That's more than most people ever do. That's more than most people ever even see.
Really?
I know you, and you can take control of this.
Yeah, but everybody around me, everyone, they're breaking up, or this one's cheating on this one, or everybody's getting a divorce.
Bonjour à tous, bienvenue aux 8h, ouvrant cette édition du 1er mars 2018 par un important communiqué du président du conseil d'administration de la SOPECAM. En substance, la SOPECAM ne reconnaît avoir été associée ni de près ni de loin à une quelconque recherche ou enquête relative au déplacement du chef de l'État à l'étranger. Le démenti du président du conseil d'administration de la SOPECAM fait suite à la diffusion en boucle par certains médias nationaux et internationaux de pseudo-révélations sur le séjour du président de la République du Cameroun, son Excellence Paul Biya, à l'étranger de 1982. À nos jours, les 10 médias nationaux et internationaux s'inspireraient d'une soi-disant enquête réalisée sur la base des archives de Cameroun Tribune, le grand quotidien national. Un communiqué du président du conseil d'administration de la Société de presse et d'édition du Cameroun, Joseph Lé. Dans la suite du journal, les travaux de la route Mora-Dabanga-Kousseri, 205 km officiellement lancés ce jour dans la région de l'extrême nord. Un temps d'arrêt a été observé sur cet axe de la nationale numéro 1 pour cause d'insécurité. Une perte socio-économique quand on sait l'importante activité qui s'y déroule. Le point avec Julienne Vogo.
Ça repart sur la nationale numéro 1. Le ministre des Travaux publics va procéder au lancement des travaux de reconstruction du tronçon Mora-Dabanga-Kousseri. Depuis 2014, le chantier était à l'arrêt du fait de l'insécurité, raison pour laquelle le génie militaire a la lourde mission de mener les travaux à terme, d'où la présence du ministre délégué à la présidence chargé de la Défense. La route Mora-Dabanga-Kousséri est importante à plus d'un titre. Elle dessert N'Djamena, la capitale tchadienne, et partant d'autres pays de la région. Elle mène vers le Nigeria, pays frontalier avec lequel le Cameroun entretient des échanges commerciaux et culturels. C'est également la route qui conduit à Ouaza, le parc mondialement connu pour les espèces fauniques rares qu'il abrite. Ouaza qui n'a rien perdu de ses atours et attend toujours des visiteurs que l'on comptait par milliers. Longue de 212 km avec le contournement de Kousséri, ce tronçon va desservir de nombreux villages et raccourcir les délais de voyage.
En société, c'est définitivement le retour des pluies à Yaoundé. Il pleut abondamment ce matin, hier soir. Les dégâts importants ont été enregistrés surtout en début de semaine avec les images de l'avenue Kennedy submergée par plus de 150 mm d'eau. La circulation devient impossible. Alors on se demande où en est-on avec le PADI et les travaux de canalisation de la rivière Fundi en cours depuis près de 10 ans. Serge Atanganabisso a mené l'enquête.
La cause la plus évidente de la mini-catastrophe de lundi dernier à l'avenue Kennedy et autres est attribuée à pas de chance. La pluie n'a pas pris de gants, trop tôt venue et dans des proportions indicibles.
On s'attendait aux pluies à la deuxième quinzaine de mars. Donc on est surpris qu'au cours de la première quinzaine de février, les pluies sont là de manière vraiment forte.
On est quand même tombé des nues lundi au soir. Un programme, le PADI, était censé renvoyer aux oubliettes toutes ces crues indésirées. Dans les faits, et depuis 2010, l'on a vu le lit de la rivière Mfundi, qui traverse la capitale de part en part, changer progressivement. Les travaux n'étaient pas terminés, du moins ceux de PADI 2, quand les éléments se sont déchaînés.
Il y a la montée des eaux. Et puis comme le passage n'est pas libre, les eaux sont dans le foulée, notamment au niveau de l'avenue Kennedy.
Deux scènes principales, deux scénarios aussi. D'abord, la zone dite vallée de la mort, encore stigmatisée.
Cette pluie, en près de 30 minutes, a produit près de 150 mm de pluie. Alors le niveau des eaux est monté dans cet affluent, mais également dans le Fundi, la rivière principale. Les eaux provenant de la Mingwa n'arrivaient plus à rentrer dans le Fundi. À ce moment-là, il y a eu un remous, les eaux ont commencé à remonter le long du canal et à inonder l'ensemble de cette zone au niveau de la voirie municipale.
Ensuite, Nsam Sofavin.
Les travaux étaient en train d'être exécutés dans le lit du cours d'eau, les déchets qui sont venus jouer le rôle de digue. C'est l'une des causes également des inondations de l'ensemble de la zone de Sofavin.
Et comme les pluies sont là, plus tôt que prévu, que les hommes continuent de muer les lits de rivière en dépotoirs mouvants.
Dans les mêmes conditions, si nous avons une pluie exceptionnelle comme celle de la dernière fois, nous allons certainement avoir les mêmes effets.
On annonce tout de même la fin des travaux en novembre 2018, soit. Un premier canal, 3,5 km environ, achevé d'être construit en 2012, nous avait permis d'oublier le lac qui généralement se formait à la poste centrale après les pluies. Les travaux en cours, 5 km de linéaire, veulent qu'on oublie également les inondations dans les zones Sofavin et autres. Pendant que la réflexion se poursuit, autant le dire, il s'agit de déplacer le problème de la ville vers les champs, rives du fleuve Mofou. Disons-nous-le aussi, les inondations arrivent, même chez les Blancs, par les caprices du temps, par les incivilités des hommes.
Dans l'actualité du jour, le fait majeur, je vous le disais, le ministre des Travaux publics en compagnie du ministre de la Défense et du secrétaire d'État chargé des routes procède au lancement officiel des travaux de reconstruction de la route Mora-Dabanga-Kousséri. Ce jeudi également, 1er mars, c'est jour d'élection des délégués du personnel dans les entreprises. L'agenda du jour est présenté par Christian Batiegane.
La femme et sa journée du 8 mars occupent l'essentiel de l'agenda médiatique de ce jour. La maison d'édition Afredite organise ce jour une cérémonie de lancement officiel du quiz Femmes du Camerounais et de la dédicace de l'ouvrage collectif intitulé Journée internationale de la femme au Cameroun. Regard académique croisé d'une institution trentenaire. C'est à l'Institut des relations internationales du Cameroun, IRIC. La conférence annuelle des responsables des services centraux et déconcentrés élargie aux organisations tutelles du ministère des Affaires sociales se tient aujourd'hui et demain dans la salle de banquet de la Croix-Rouge camerounaise. Cette conférence a pour thème « Vers une action sociale de proximité, quantifiable et performante ». Elles tiennent ce jeudi 1er mars les journées gestion à l'amphithéâtre Denis Mojeunesse du campus d'Ekounou de l'Université catholique d'Afrique centrale dès 13h cet après-midi. Il s'agit d'un traditionnel événement par lequel la faculté des sciences sociales et de gestion de l'UCAC promeut les métiers de gestion. Remise de matériaux sanitaires ce jeudi 1er mars au centre médical d'arrondissement de Matombe. C'est un don de l'initiative de recherche et de formation pour le développement IRD. Ce don médical des Nations Unies va contribuer à l'amélioration des services de santé dans les zones rurales du Cameroun, notamment la réduction de la mortalité maternelle et de la prévalence du VIH-Sida. En perspective ce samedi, le Cercle des Amis du Cameroun va procéder à une remise de dons aux personnes handicapées et aux femmes rurales à Auvin. Ce même samedi, autre remise de dons au centre de santé intégré d'Ekounou, une initiative du Cercle des femmes musulmanes du Fundi dans la mouvance de la célébration de la Journée internationale de la femme.
Dans la région du littoral, les PME opérant sur la place portuaire de Douala, bientôt recensées pour un meilleur suivi du gouvernement. Assurance du ministre des PME, Laurent Serge Etoudi-Ngwa. Il était en visite de travail au port autonome de Douala, puis à la bourse de sous-traitance et de partenariat du Cameroun. D'autres précisions avec Léon Bertrand, Tanefo, TV Littoral.
Les PME constituent plus de 80% du tissu industriel, maillon important de la chaîne économique camerounaise. Les Amazones de la Cameroon Women Business Leaders Association l'ont comprise et investissent le terrain entrepreneurial en créant de nombreux partenariats pour trouver des solutions aux problèmes de femmes bâtisseuses et porteuses de projets.
Le secteur public et le secteur privé doivent travailler ensemble pour me mettre autour d'une table avec tous ces ministères qui concernent l'économie. Parce que dans l'association, tous les secteurs d'activité sont regroupés. Donc je pense que c'est une très bonne chose.
Pendant 3 ans, aux côtés du MINMESA, le patronat féminin devra procéder à la recherche des financements afin de créer des opportunités économiques. Selon la convention, cela passe par la mise sur pied d'une mission économique à l'intérieur et en dehors du pays. La joie de la signature de la convention n'a pas éludé le chapelet des doléances au MINMESA par les femmes entreprenantes. Elles réclament notamment la participation des start-upeuses aux événements nationaux et internationaux pour plus d'efficience dans la compétitivité. L'inauguration du siège de la CWBLA dans la capitale économique est donc un geste fort.
Vous l'avez corrigé, c'était un reportage de Cyril Edimo, TV Littoral, sur la convention de partenariat entre les femmes d'affaires et le ministre des PME. C'est ici que s'achève le journal, le 8h. Merci de nous avoir suivis. Dès 9h, l'information en continu, la matinale avec Fonka Moutabo Bernard et Gisèle Onguene à 9h. Le grand rendez-vous, le 12h. Et en attendant, je vous laisse en compagnie de Petit Ambasso.
Don't worry, you'll get it. Thank you for ushering us into the third hour of our program.
Thank you.
We give you this with a lot of love.
Thank
Just
you.
a banana. It's your breakfast for today.
Thank you.
See you
Have a nice weekend.
On Tuesday.
On
Entre temps, you're here on Friday and on Monday with Eric Christian.
Exactly.
All right, have a beautiful day.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Now let's send this lady off on a dancing foot. This is freestyle. It's the moment when we only talk creativity, however it comes, even if it doesn't look like the latest video from Alpha Beta Record. It's okay. This is just how sometimes it starts. Just enjoy with us.
till the day I can stay. Chill up with England style. England style. Chill up with England style. England style. Chill up with England style. England style. Chill up with England style. Samler på minder I stedet for penge. Vi har kun et liv, men vi ved ikke hvor længe. Min græsne er grøn nok, har ikke brug for andet. Jeg slukker mobilen og hopper i vandet. Jeg husker, hvad vigtigt. Det koster ingenting. Se mig, hvordan jeg drømmer mig hen. Vi vil have det fjerde, så vi kan nå til den top. Speederen i bund, for det gjort. Jeg slettet af det af. For vi vil nå til den top. Falder vi for hårdt. Jeg vil bare væk. Måske blive lidt sær. Siddende i solen og gå rundt i bare tær. For det ræs her især. Flyve gennem tiden til de dage jeg kan. Chiller på mit yndlingssted. Yndlingssted. Chiller på mit yndlingssted. Yndlingssted. Chiller på mit yndlingssted. Yndlingssted. Chiller på mit yndlingssted. Har ikke behov for de ting, nej. Dit fokus er kun på en ting, yeah, yeah. Vi hører på larme, vi lukker for. Vi hører på larme, jeg slukker for larme. Yndlingssted, chiller på mit yndlingssted. Yndlingssted, chiller på mit yndlingssted. Yndlingssted, chiller på mit yndlingssted. Yndlingssted, chiller på mit yndlingssted.
We told you that's how creativity starts. It starts with a handmade guitar. It starts with you singing and fighting with your friends in the house. And someday you're like Mr. Leo. Someday you're like Magasco, the guy from Com. That's a wonderful place to be, especially if it's a guy who used to sell Okrika. He tells you that's how far I've come. You can follow my path, you know. Okay, we like creativity, so that's why we're bringing freestyle every Hello Day at about this time to encourage you to look for the creative person in you and put aside the coats and the suits and whatever. Now let's talk about things that will be happening in March. It's not only the Women's Day that is going to be happening. There's a big concert that will be happening on the 2nd of March. And we have faces that if I told you to guess, and I said you have 5 opportunities to guess, you will not get it. So let me just tell you, there is Misengo François on the set with me, and there is Anche Bogo on the set with me. You're wondering now how we'll be speaking, right? We'll manage a la Camerounaise. Misengo, good morning, and thank you for coming on Hello Cameroon.
Good morning, thank you.
I'm happy to have you.
Me also.
Anche Bogo, who I've tried his French, he doesn't go, his English, he doesn't go at all, so we'll just manage. Good morning, and thank you for coming on Hello Cameroon.
Oui, bonjour.
I told you, but you know, we are peaceful, we don't want problems, okay, so just bear with us. Misengo, you have a concert on the 2nd. Do you want to tell us who are, as if you're here with Ange Bogo, it's because he's going to be part of it, right?
Okay, there is Ange Bogo. Ekambe Briand.
Yes.
And also Annie Answer.
Annie Answer.
So I will celebrate my 45 years of music on the 2nd March, and that is why I'm in Yaoundé.
Okay.
Just to tell my fans, the public, that I'm still in music. I will continue till God say to me, stop.
Okay. That is awesome. I'm going to come back to you to ask you, what is the message? When you have 40 years in music, what is the thing you want to share with people? But let me first of all worry Anche Bogo a bit. you're free to speak in French. That's okay. Tell me about how ready you are for this concert and what are you telling your friend who is 40 years old in music? Vous êtes prêt pour le concert? Qu'est-ce que vous dites à votre ami qui a 40 ans?
Le concert a été préparé minutieusement. Et quand on voit sur le même podium Misengo François, Ange Bogo, Kambi Briand, Annie Anzor et quelques jeunes, c'est que je peux seulement dire que les absents auront tort.
No joke about it though, Ange Bogo is a legend in music. I mean, the kind of music he does, you need to be of a particular age. I mean, we should find one of his clips and play on retro clips so that you understand what we're talking about. He is a guy who knows what music is about. Now, Misengo, what is the message? When you are 40 years old in music, what is the thing you want to tell people?
It's exactly 45 years of music.
Okay, 45.
The message, I always sing social.
Okay.
Sometimes also politics, why not? And love, and love. When we take a song
like the one we're seeing on television.
Be tell you say Akwara they get money. So till you go leave your husband, you go for Akwara. That is to sensibilize people.
Yes.
So I think that is the best thing I can do is to sensibilize people, to tell people that what you have to do or what you don't have to do. So in this world, I think the important message I give to my fans or people who like good music.
There are many young people watching you and they love you. You are one. I mean, both of you are figures of music that people love.
Thank you.
What do you tell them often? And quelques mots, what do you tell young people when you see them?
Young people, what I tell them, every time I call young people to come to learn about, because I have more experience than the young people, but I've seen that they don't like to work.
Okay.
And it is very difficult for me to every time to go. I'm a teacher. As a teacher.
Okay.
So it's them who have to come and see me. So I always wait. I'm still waiting until now.
Young people go to knowledge. In this case, go to the mountain. He says that he's teaching, he's a teacher, and he's willing to teach all the time. Exceptionally on this program today, I'm going to give you something really special.
That's fantastic.
Do you know what this is?
Bitter cola.
Bitter cola. You know what this is? Comment on appelle ça chez vous, dans le patois? I know they call it le démarreur, but no, that's not what I mean.
Ognier.
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 Ah, okay. I'm offering you some ognier this morning. The reason I'm offering you this is because this is a fruit that we have a lot
Thank you.
in this country.
Merci beaucoup.
It's for love. We love you. We love the kind of music you do. We definitely love your generation of music. And we're wishing you, Misengo, a wonderful performance on the 2nd of March. If you're out there and you're wondering what is happening, Misengo Francois is going to be sharing the stage with very huge names in Cameroon music. And it's for those of you who missed that moment, this is a moment to reconnect. For those of you who didn't know that moment, this is a moment to discover what music was in the 80s and in the early 90s. Thank you for coming on the program. I don't want to
tell
give
people for the gate fee.
Yes,
gate fee is 10,000 and 15,000 VIP.
Okay.
And they have to be at at Hotel La Falaise.
Hotel La Falaise.
We start at 9 p.m.
Is it young people's time or old people's time? 9 p.m.
The young people and old people.
Because old people's time is 9 is 9. Young people's time 9 is elastic. 9 can be like midnight.
Okay.
So in any case, be at Hotel La Falaise at 9 o'clock. Find a way to get there. I mean, 10,000 or 15 or 25,000, you can do it just to come have a great moment. That kind of moment has no price. Now, though, let's have a short transition on the program. Maybe why not? Let's watch Misengo when you know that time, right? Just let me not speak. Just enjoy Misengo, and then we'll continue behind that. Merci, Daddy.
Je chante pour rien, toujours rien. Tous les jours la même chanson. Il faut faire des sacrifices. Je suis rejeté, méprisé. La misère, c'est mon prénom. Je suis un griot. Je chante pour rien. Oh, la vie c'est terrible, maman. Oh. Dieu est-il injuste, mon frère?
méchants, Mao. Ha. Les gens sont méchants. Oui, très méchant. I'm trying to beg Wax to take me for chorus. That's why I'm practicing. Wax, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Happy to have you. But look, let me keep my banana away from you because it's safer. I have bitter cola. I can give you. No, this
By the
one.
way, your hair looks beautiful. Wow.
Thank you for my hair. I'll give you bitter cola at the end of this the program, not now. But banana, no. Myra, good morning.
Good morning, Pochi.
I love your red.
Thank you.
We're talking about toes this morning, toenails to be precise. I wish I could show you my toenails because I discovered that there are a few tricks you can do with your toenails and then they look like wow the whole time. In fact, if I show my toenails to Wax, he'll put a ring on it.
You are on your own. But you are on your own.
I wish we could. Okay, let's ask our viewers though. Should I show him my toes right
Please
now?
Please don't, I beg.
They say no.
I've seen them already.
So, Mara, what about our toes?
Actually, it's because of you that I decided to check out because we had a nail conversation the other day, and then I was like, okay, manicure is something that women are so fond of, but do we really take care of our toes? And so this is going to be like both men and women inclusive this morning. And the very first thing I'd like you to understand that your feet actually carry you, and your toenails are part of those feet. So you have to pamper them every step of the way. A good foot soak will be very necessary, or you owning a foot scrub in the house can also play the magic, because at the end of the day it takes off the debris, takes off the dead cells, and leaves you with a fresh and very fine sensation that everybody loves at the end of the day. And there's another thing that you forget all the time. We forget that all the time. I do. I'm so guilty of that crime. Washing in between your toes. We think that we bathe and then it's okay, and then we brush, and then you don't do in between. So, and also pat it dry is so important, and then end that process with a good foot moisturizer. It's also going to play the magic, trust me. Another thing you should not forget, how do you fit your shoes? Are they very tight? Do you go for the beauty or for the comfortability of the shoe? What about your hosiery? What about your stockings? It's something that you should be very careful, because if there's too much pressure exerted on the toes, you can suffer from ingrown toenails. You can also suffer from other infections, which is not very good. If you're diabetic, you don't want to compromise when it comes to your shoes. Wear those that are really comfortable, because with your health situation already, you don't want wounds or further infections that can push your health to an extreme. So you have to really be careful about that one. Then cutting your toenails is something that you should not forget, because we're fond of adding the artificial nails there.
Exactly.
It's okay, but they should really be short and neat. But if you can leave your toes the way they are, because probably 90–80% of the time they are inside our shoes. So if you can just spare the artificial nail trick and just let go, that will be fine. There's another thing that we forget all the time. Owning a pedicure set, a personal pedicure set, is so primordial. What happens? You go to a beauty salon, no matter how chic and expensive you pay, observe, be very careful. How many times do they sterilize when they're done with one client to the next? How many do they own? How many clients use the same, both male and female? People don't come in with their files of what they suffer from.
And how efficient is that sterilizer, by the way? I mean, you've been using it for I don't know how many years.
How many years? They don't even change it. They are even new ones. They don't update.
Get yours. That's what Mara said.
Get yours.
And stop looking at us like that.
I know, they're like, you don't come again. Get yours, seriously. It's super important, and it's not expensive. And if you're diabetic, if you suffer from poor circulation, you want to get an expert always trim and cut your toenails for you, so you avoid any further complications. And a great tip, if you have nails that brittle, if you have nails that are so hard to chop off or cut, you should do that after you bathe, because actually the water does the softening for you, and then after it will be much more easier. And then you also need to keep toenail fungus at bay. Sometimes they are responsible for the fact that our toenails are experiencing some decoloration. So to keep that at bay, avoid exposing your feet to both warm and moist weather or temperature zones. You have to be very careful with that one. And the last one, I ill out with this one, I would say feed your toes. Feed your toes. I'm not saying that.
Myra, you saw the toenails you're showing us there.
I know. That one is outrageous. That's crazy.
A war weapon.
It's a no-go zone. That's exaggeratively incorrect. I don't know how beautiful you think that those are, but to me, it's just horrible.
Oh, really?
Chicken.
Wax, I cannot forgive you for that. Feeding your toes doesn't mean that you should give them a plate of rice to eat. No, what I mean is everything you actually gulp down, you're responsible for how it outplays or outshines to you. The vitamins, the minerals, everything you eat in the right quantities, in the right proportions, and at the right time can also give you those very healthy nails that you need. And I think I need to sign out from the...
Your nails fit like bones. So whatever you could eat to have strong bones will feed your nails. And you could use your toothpaste to clean your nails too.
Yeah.
Because they are the same family. You know.
I want good advice. Yeah, we know you for that. One last advice.
Yes.
This is the female festive period is coming. I don't know why we celebrate instead of commemorating. Judge me not. But if you're going to the salon, it's going to be crowded every other time.
Sure.
Please go with your comb. Go with your own towels. It's very necessary. And there is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong if you thread your needles and go with them when you want to do your weave. Because you don't know how it pricks into other... I'm done.
Thank you, Mara. Thank you for signing out. Let me give you the banana because Wax is all about banana this morning, and I don't know why.
Thank you.
Now, I was just showing my nails. Like, what do you think about nails? Do they look well fed?
No, they're so clean, so good.
Mara is flattering you.
But you know what they say about men with very cute nails? Why is strong
saying?
Come on.
You know what they say with men with very cute nails, right?
You know what? There's something about Wax. Nyanga boy.
I'm just saying.
So you just want us to say the things that we have to say. No, so but, your lineup should go longer. Like, oh, nice. It's jolloping inside.
Yeah, very well taken care of.
Your own.
Now that we have said it, he's the one who is on his own because the lineup is... Wax is here because he's looking for a new #1 girl. I don't know what he did with the other #1 girls. Okay, let's not open that chapter because the Facebook will get read. Yeah. Let's look at this version that is coming. Give us the dates, the places, the people that matter and everything.
So we've started castings for the new season of #1 Girl. Okay. It's a reality TV show, by the way, where we're looking for a girl that is going to be my next music video girl. Okay. But then it's far beyond that because it's actually a development program for young girls that want to get into entertainment. So what we're saying is that you can be on TV, but behind that is a lot of business. So what we do is over a month, when they're living together and competing, we bring in industry professionals to train them about different aspects of entertainment, civic responsibility, and personal development. So
give us the date and where this is happening.
So it's the casting is happening at Safari at midday. Okay. Yeah, on Saturday, this coming Saturday. Yeah, and so we're looking forward to seeing who's going to be the next #1 girl.
What do you what are you going to be telling the young women who will be coming there to hope for a place?
Well, I think it's all about being confident in yourself. When it's not a modeling contest, it's not about beauty. It's about women who feel who give out positive energy and want to get that out and feed the audience who are watching. Okay. As I said, the show is really about first of all, looking for people that have something we can develop, but also looking for people that have a potential without the capacity to express it, that we can help them to do that. So in the course of the years, we've seen people like Muriel Blanche from Pagny who've come out of the show and really shown. We have artists like Shura who've come in, very shy, coming out as full-blown musicians. So we, that's what we are,
Tell me about, this is a new season, the past seasons. What is the story? Is it working the way you want, or there are things you'd like to do better?
Obviously, I would like to do a lot more better in terms of marketing the show. Okay. I'd like to improve the quality of the show. When we started the show, there was no social media in Cameroon, or very little, and so people were very pessimistic.
Don't worry, people were still learning how to use Facebook. Now they are PhD holders in Facebook.
Yeah, people were very pessimistic, yeah, of course. So now I think it's the right time to do a lot of interaction with people so they really get to understand the essence of the show. Okay. I think, what I've tried to always, as I said before, is to really send out the message that this is not just entertainment. My vision, it's part of my vision in show business is that there has to be an aspect of development at every stage. And this is what it's really about. And I really want people to participate from that perspective and to take part. Also importantly this year, the winner is going to be chosen exclusively by public voting. So we'll get the girls out there. The judges are going to judge them, are going to train them, mentor them. They're going to do their contests and all of that. We're going to do outreach events on the 24th. We're doing a beach party at Seme Beach Hotel.
Do you promise that it's not going to be the kind that will make us trouble after? Like it's going to be free and fair and everybody's
that is the it's a hallmark of Calabash music. What we do as a company is that we work with integrity. And I think this is one show where from the onset it's always been like that. You know, it's straight by the rules. So it's a public vote 100%. The judges have no role to play. In the past, there's been some confusion and things like that. No, you vote for your candidate. We have a website that's coming up where you'll be able to monitor the votes and see how they're going. And at the end of the day, when we have the finals on the 9th of June at St. John's Plaza, it's going to be a live broadcast show. We're going to be voting, and we'll see right there and then, monitoring the votes and seeing this is the winner.
Who's coming up on top. Okay. Exactly. Thank you so much, Wax.
Thank you for having me.
I don't want to give you banana. I want to give you this.
Bitter
you know
cola.
what? Bitter cola. Yes. I'm not saying anything. I'm just offering you bitter cola. Among many other values, it's good for the stomach. Like it helps.
Yes. Actually, so you don't.
Wax. Don't say anything.
All right. Cool.
So yes, I'm all yours. Tell me.
No, it's fine. Like I cannot imagine why I gave it to me, and yeah, like so. I actually accept.
Don't think too much. Just take my bitter cola with a lot of love. I'm keeping the banana for Ben and Bumagana, who is supposed to join us. Ben, good morning.
Good morning, Putin.
Why are you shaking your head? You want to take the bitter cola from Wax?
No, because Wax just explained a few things about what he's going to be doing, and then you give him bitter cola at the end of the day.
To give him energy.
Okay, I understand.
Well,
if it's for energy, no problem.
It's to give him energy.
I think it's a great work Wax is going to be doing, and we'll be watching out to see who comes out well. We should really encourage Wax. It's not because Wax is here. I follow the song he did with Yemi Alade, who is one of my best. And then Wax too is quite a great guy. So let's wait.
He's a round figure in showbiz.
Quite good.
He's into different things.
When he speaks English, I'm happy he speaks English. A lot of these guys who are into music, sometimes they start speaking English and they start.
You catch fever like when you talk, like you start shaking like.
Come on, boy, speak like you sing, man. Don't speak like that, you know.
No, you know in music, Yemi Alade sang in different languages. Yep. She doesn't speak those languages. That's the thing with grammar here. People sing the grammar, but that's another story.
Not really.
It's not a fight. It's just we're just yarning on the program. But let's yarn sports instead. We need to leave this matter.
Yes, of course. Let's talk sport. Let's talk sport. We're going to talk two major issues in sport today. We're going to talk first of all. The FIFA has prolonged the mandate of the Normalization Committee at FECAFOOT.
Yes.
Now they are going to be there right till the 31st of August. Until the 31st of August. The reasons are simple. The first is that, following the law in 2011, when the former executive was there, they prepared the status of the federation. Now, the Normalization Committee comes under Barrister Happy, and they work on those statuses, and they discovered that with the way the thing is, they cannot carry on elections because there is something that is absent in the statutes. They call it in French, le corps de métier. Don't worry about that French. It simply means football associations in the country. MTN League 1 and League 2 football associations. You have association that takes care of players and many other football associations. So these associations are supposed to vote when the time comes for who becomes president of the Football Federation. Now, in the law that has been there since 2011, that was not taken care of. And the Normalization Committee under Metro Happy could not just go ahead to modify because it is the parliament that has to carry on the modification in the sports and physical education law in the country. So it is expected that the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, Bidung Pat, is going to table it in Parliament. When Parliament meets in the June session, let them study the law, adjust it, modify it, and then, they can now carry on with the election by the month of August. Don't ask me if, from June to August, that's just July, they'll be able to organize elections. Well, do not ask me that question. But
we'll be monitoring and we'll tell them as it goes. That's the best situation.
That's the situation. After the press conference in the Hilton Hotel, that is what Vera Mosengo, who came, the FIFA delegate, who came to Cameroon, that's what they explained. Now we understand why the Normalization Committee have another 6 months to work very, very hard to be able to put the laws together to get everything ready before elections so that we can definitely know who becomes president of the Cameroon Football Federation. And if you're getting worried that it's taking too long, look at Kuwait. For 2 years now, there's a Normalization Committee at Kuwait. I'm not trying to justify the fact that the Normalization Committee in Cameroon should be there for 2 years.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to say...
I was catching some goose,
I'm just trying to say that, well, until everything is well, they should stay there.
Mm-hmm. And what's the next thing on sports?
But what is a little worrying at this moment is the Indomitable Lions that you and I will love very much, they do not have a coach. For God's sake.
Well, but I think we are used to drama somehow with the Indomitable Lions.
We kind of like it.
I don't know if we like it, but I think when you had drama 1, drama 2, drama 3, you cannot be surprised at drama 4.
You should better
but
stop
it's a tragic drama that we love them so much, but there's no coach yet.
There's no coach yet. There's no coach yet. And how do we get to the point where there's no coach yet, Pochi? You know, Hugo Bros came from Belgium and he takes over the Lions. And, you know, miraculously, I should say so, because nobody was expecting that the Indomitable Lions would get right to the final of the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations in Gabon. They got right there and they beat Egypt and they lifted the trophy. And everybody hailed Hugo Bros as the king, you know, as the, you know, the one and only, the, you know, fine. But a few weeks after, Hugo Bros started committing some unforgivable sins. Number 1, Hugo Bros is supposed to stay in Cameroon because that is what is in his contract. You stay in Cameroon, you follow the team, and then you work here. But he was hardly in Cameroon. He was all the time in Europe. And when you ask him, he says that he's scouting for players. We didn't really see much of that. Number 2, he failed to qualify the Lions for the World Cup. Remember that we were beaten in Nigeria. Nigeria came here and they trashed us.
Who will forget that?
Number 3, he went to Russia for the Confederations Cup and he messed up. It was a poor showing. Number 4, he has the habit of talking, you know, I should say, lampooning his players. He lambasting at his players, laughing at his players during press conferences and all. Number 5, remember the Belgium saga where he went there, the players could not eat, and then he comes out and said, oh, there's a lot of fraud in the team, the players are not eating. That embarrassed the government, much to the chagrin of the Cameroonian people. All of this put together, the federation said, we do not want this man to be coach anymore. And how did that happen, Pochi? They sent a letter, a confidential letter, to the Minister of Sports and Physical Education. In between Fekafut in Chinga to the Ministry of Sport, something happened to that letter. It was hacked.
Some people would say the people in the village took control. I don't really believe in that, though, but
yeah, we cannot
the letter, something happened.
Yes, something
Let's just say something happened.
Something happened, and now we understood from that letter that Fekafut did not want to prolong the contract of Hugo Bros. Well, finally, he got to the minister. Now, the final person to take the decision, the final decision is supposed to come from the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education. And up to this moment, it has not yet come.
We are waiting and watching. We'll be updating you as it goes. Ben and Bumagana, thank you for updating us.
Thank you very much.
We definitely like to open such windows so that if you're interested in that information, you can follow it up. We need a coach for the our darling Indomitable Lions.
How did you know I wanted a banana?
I know what you need, darling. I know half a banana and half a sweet day.
I said that one they used to call in the village Jagatu.
I mean a Jagatu you want.
No, this banana is okay.
So let's take a break there. We're going to have a drama page on the program. Just stay with us. We'll meet you just after. In case you are one of those naughty, very naughty boys who are used to spying or trying to look under women's dresses, this is what could happen to you. That piece is coming from Nif Tender Comedy, just one of the very, very bright minds we have in Cameroon, and it's our joy on Hello Cameroon every day to showcase our talents in its diverse forms. I want to read this message that's coming from Sylvie Kilo. She's in Simenyong. She says that man and woman palaver no put ya mopo, except one is about to kill the other. Just let them be, because they will certainly arrange their matter in the bedroom where you and I are not. Thank you for that, Sylvie. We're asking you, and you have less than 30 minutes to comment, who should solve a big problem between a husband and a wife? Nobody? Most people say nobody. But what do you think? If you want to comment, you should know our number by now if you're a regular man now or a regular woman. If you're not, sorry for you. This is the moment when we talk to people, to talented people. We'll continue our discussion about Cameroonians who are creative beyond measure. This is a group that is called Fresh Gang. I see 4 persons, though for our conversation we can have only 2. We have KJ. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Happy to have you.
Thank you very much.
We also have Rough B. Rough B, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming on this side.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Rough B, what is Fresh Gang about? Just so we don't get scared.
Actually, Fresh Gang, it's an inspirational music group.
Okay.
Created in the cultural city of Bamenda sometime around 2014 with this common goal to bring forth Cameroon music and Cameroon culture to the society.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who are the members? Let me ask that to KJ. Who are the members of Fresh Gang?
Okay. In Fresh Gang, we have Slim Keezy, a.k.a. Juice Man. We have Regal Dixon, a.k.a. Fresh Kid. We have Rough B Ndumoon, a.k.a. Playboy. And you have me, KJ, First Lady.
First Lady. Yeah. Let's watch what this group put together. This is their latest video. Just enjoy that. Behind that, we'll talk a little bit more to them.
Money, jeunesse, La Fresh Gang est là, les belles filles sont là. Je pense à vous qui faites trop la bouche. La Fresh Gang est là, les belles filles sont là. Je pense à vous qui faites trop la bouche.
It's just a window. It's just a window, so you should go check out Fresh Gang. That video is on YouTube, so you can go get it. But tell me about this song. How are people responding to the song?
Actually, from the response so far, it's really positive because it's kind of from the response we get, it's kind of a club banger. Like it plays, the beats play so hard that everybody can vibe to it. Like. You know, in Cameroon, we like,
we like rhythm.
Rhythms, yeah.
Okay.
So we get very positive comments so far.
First Lady, what is the ambition of Fresh Gang? What are the things you sit in a group and say you want to achieve?
Okay. As a crew, we've always had one vision, and that vision is to promote Cameroon music, to make Cameroon music feel and be known better out there. So we have one vision of making Cameroon music the best music.
Okay.
And we are going to do that.
This year, 2018, what are some of the things that you want to see happen regarding your career?
Actually, 2018, regarding our career, I think we have a number of goals we've set, and we know if it's not gonna happen all 2018, we know in the nearest future it's gonna happen. And we want to see us not only in Cameroon get out there to the world and internationally reach out to so many people.
When your name is AKA First Lady, one of the things you often do is make a speech. Very soon we're having the 8th of March. What kind of speech would a First Lady like you give?
I want to tell all my young girls out there that they should believe in themselves. There is nothing you cannot do. You just need positive people around you, because when you have those people, your openings are much more brighter and better.
Definitely. Thank you very much for bringing this breath of fresh air on the set. I wish you a wonderful singing career, and that may you always rise above all your challenges. And please come back again any other time to tell me how you're doing. And if you meet any person like you on the way, grab them and send to us. We are scouting for talent so that we can showcase them on Halo Cameroon and tell the world that in Cameroon we create. Now, that said, though, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming, Rob B. Let me give you how your outside could be looking like. If you're thinking of stepping out of your home, it's good you have an idea. I just want to also let you know, across the country, there are many more clouds coming up and gathering. You could have a lot of nimbus clouds wherever you are, because the chances of rain across the country just keep going up. If you are in Yaoundé, from where we are broadcasting, your temperature will vary between 27 degrees Celsius, that will be the highest, to 19 degrees Celsius. There is an 80% chance that it rains in Yaoundé today. If you saw the pictures of flooding we saw, you want to make sure that if it rains today, you're ready for it. So have an umbrella, be in the mood for a very wet day, because you have a very high chance that it rains, and expect thunderstorms too. If you are in Bafoussam in the west region, you should have rain showers early with scattered thunderstorms arriving in the later part of the day. That will be in the afternoon. Your temperature when it's highest will be 29 degrees Celsius, and when it's lowest will be 16 degrees. That's quite low, and it's definitely also going to be quite cold. You have a 60% chance that it rains in Bafoussam. If you are in Batwa, which is in the east region, we're sending you a lot of love. You expect to have scattered thunderstorms during the morning part of the day, partly cloudy skies in the afternoon. Your temperature when it's highest in the day will be 30 degrees Celsius, and when it's lowest will be 19 degrees Celsius. You have a 40% chance that it rains in that part of the country. If you are in Bamenda, we're expecting that you should have sunshine and clouds mixed throughout the day, and your highest temperature will be 28 degrees Celsius, while your lowest will be 16 degrees Celsius. We couldn't get any chance of rain in Bamenda, but you know, be on your guard. If you are in Boya in the southwest region, we're sending you a lot of love. We still have nostalgia about our recent visit. We'll probably be coming there very soon. Thunderstorms likely. Your highest temperature will be 25 degrees Celsius. Your lowest will be 18 degrees Celsius. That should be in the evening. And you have 90 You heard right, 90% chance that it rains in that part of town. If you are in Douala, you equally have 90% chance that it rains in Douala, in the economic capital. Rain showers in the morning with some sunshine towards the afternoon period. Your highest temperature will be 31 degrees Celsius. Your lowest will be 23. If you're in the Bolova, in the south region, scattered thunderstorms in the morning, becoming more widespread in the afternoon. Your highest temperature will be 27 degrees Celsius and your lowest will be 19 degrees Celsius. You equally have a 90% chance that it rains in that part of the country. Let's go very far up north to Marwa. If you're in Marwa, accept warm greetings from us. It's just sunshine that you have today. Your highest temperature will be 39 degrees Celsius and the lowest will be 24. If you're in Garwa, it's also mostly sunshine that you have, and your highest temperature will be 40 degrees Celsius. Your lowest will be 24. If you are in Gandere in the Adamawa, accept a lot of love coming from the Halo Cameroon crew this morning. It is sun and cloud mix for you throughout this day, and your highest temperature will be 33 degrees Celsius, while your lowest will be 17 degrees Celsius. I want to end this by reminding you that if you're thinking of stepping out, would encourage you to when you step out and you can no longer watch television, go on your radio and tune to 88.8. That is the national station of the CRTV. You'll hear people like Pucci or like Ruth NJ, who's joined me to give you an idea of what's coming up on the television, working hard to give you a better start of the day. Ruth NJ, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Tell me what's coming up on the CRTV television.
I'll start by saying Happy New Month.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
February is gone.
1st of March, and you know the March month is for women. Yes, it's our month. We take it, we own it, and we make do with what we want to do with it. 10 a.m. on the CRTV. We're taking you to the Southwest region, and this time we will be talking about the Southwest Festival, the cultural festival that just ended in 2017. It happened in 2017, and what our cameras does is that it goes and picks the highlights of those events and put something sweet together for you all to relive that moment. In case you didn't have an opportunity to go to Boya, which it was held there, you have dances, traditional dishes of all types sampled, and of course the traditional attire, because what identifies us is our traditional attire, our history, our tradition. That comes up 10 a.m. on the CRTV. And then I was talking about the Women's Month. Yes, today is 1st of March, and Follow Me is starting that on a great footing. They are talking about women and their careers. Yes, women will take their careers as priority. Pochi, what do you think about that?
I think if you're doing anything, it should be very important. Now it's up to you to give priority. Is a career more important than your home or social life or anything? Nobody can tell that for you. It's up to you.
Yes, 11 a.m. on the CRTV. Join the Follow Me girls. Just follow them. Yes, like the title.
Follow team.
Follow team. Follow them and just join the panelists to discover what women and their careers, how they handle that, what are their ideas. And then 12:30, we're having someone very inspiring too. It is on Midi Live, and yes, it is still a lady. She is a creative writer, and she is the coordinator of Sister Speak 237. 237? It's Cameroon. That's the code for Cameroon. Sister Speaks 237, and then she is a journalist as well. Comfort Musa will be on the hot seat. She's talking about her life. She talked about some sweet story. Just find out 12:30 on Midi Live. Say your life, say my life, and it is music, meaning it is lively. 12:30 on the CRTV. Then I'm leaving from Yaoundé, and we're going to Marché Bay de Mbanga. That's in the West region. What does Marché Bay de Mbanga, what does he sell? What are the things he has there? You want to find out 3 p.m. That is what our cameras do. That's why we are here. That's why CRTV is out there for you at the heart of the nation. It's not for anything. And then we'll be ending 7 p.m. on the CRTV. In case you're still thinking if I should get into one agricultural sector or not, find out. It is bee farming at PQ2 on the CRTV. Maybe you get interested, or if not, you choose fish or you choose poultry farming on the CRTV, 7 p.m. Meanwhile, it's www.crtv.cm, and it is CRTV_web for Twitter. Facebook is CRTV web. Then the CRTV news. Stay tuned to that, because it is nothing but the news. News at every top of the hour, and then you have the flash news as well coming up your way on the CRTV. Pucci?
I hear you have CRTV Premium, which is what you're watching. You have CRTV News, and I also hear there is something else in the making. So you need to stay with us.
Last time it was something big. It's coming.
Yes.
This time, I don't know.
Waiting.
Something mighty.
Yes. I don't know. But definitely there's something cooking. And every day you get the smell of it. You're like, is this tomato? Is it onion? Is it...
One thing I like is because we know how to cook things and just surprise people. And yesterday, CRTV News turned a month old. It was
like a joke, right?
Yes, like a joke. And people are like, really? It's someone told me it's just a few days, but I feel it's been a whole year.
Yes.
Congratulations
so
to us.
Before you know it, it will be a year older. But before it is a year older, something else would have come up. It's like with babies, you know, you have one and you're like, oh, it's out, another one has come.
Meaning we are pregnant.
You're on your own. We said smile, smile some more. Even each time you smile, you make the world a more beautiful place. Try it. You make your home more beautiful. You make your work environment more beautiful, and you make people beside you more comfortable. Ruth Angel, thank you for being here this morning. Thank you too for staying with us. If you did the 3 hours, you need to clap for yourself. If today's your birthday, also clap for yourself. Bye-bye. See you on Tuesday. Happy Hello Day.
Angoisse au monde.